G'day everyone, Matt over here.
Sorry, is that me? That's me.
The brick boards here. At least I know the sound's working.
Why is Wally flat on his back? What are you doing?
Went a bit Wally.
If you eat bacon, you would not tell it's a fake cheese. It's bacon.
I was in a house fire whilst my mum was at work.
Was it caused by you?
So...
That's a yes. Yeah, is that right, Sam?
I believe so. There's another little Easter egg in the Death Star. You mentioned the Luke and Vader one, but there's another one. If you throw it at a wall, you can recreate the scene where it explodes.
Oh, his eyes just fell as you said that. But yeah, it just means that he has to be in a very specific position, otherwise he'll just, oh my god. It's the only time that I've considered glue for Lego.
There's two now! It doesn't matter!
Welcome along to this Family Bricks live stream, number 29 of this season. And every Thursday night we're here building some Lego, chatting with some friends, and anything else construction related. And in this case, because we've got Ahsoka streaming in the third hour tonight, so 2 hours from now, we will do an Ahsoka recap with spoilers, but until then, we won't really talk too much about it, and we'll have a few other people joining us later on for a chat there, so we can digest that and turn it over and have a good think about it. Do all the good social media stuff, share, like, subscribe around here. I think there's also a poll there as well, some question. You can get into that. Shout out to the replay gang. Always appreciate you guys watching, and particularly Brian Bricks, who give him a shout out. If you happen to be watching this back as part of the replay gang and you leave a comment, I'll give you a shout out in the next one. So that's how we did that. And if you want to support the channel, you can always do a super chat. Always appreciate them. And I think from that, we'll just go across and give our sponsor a quick little plug. They help pay for a few bits and pieces around here, which we always appreciate. This video is brought to you by McCatsim Holiday Homes in Margate and Broadstairs. Great for a week's holiday or a weekend escape, being just over an hour east of London, UK. Treat yourself to amazing sunsets, a Lego wall, or great food. Visit www.macatsim.com and mention this YouTube video and we'll look after you. Quick little shout out to a few people we've seen so far in the chat there. King Aldendorf, welcome along. Hope that you're going well. And also we have Hillian's Bricks there. Good evening. Good. Heads up about Ahsoka. Not watched any of them yet. Yeah, so you've still got 2 hours to go. The other thing too, Hillian's Bricks, he actually did his first mock, which is a massive 6x6 Endor Speeder Chase. 6x6 48x48 base plates. It's really cool. There's like thousands of pieces, so he put a video up on that. Be sure to check that out. That was actually really cool. I like the idea. He's used a bit of train track to sort of keep that going around, and I think he's going to be having that at some of the shows that he goes along to as a bit of a vendor. So with all that said, I think it's almost like the night before Christmas, and there's a huge amount of anticipation for the releases tomorrow. And in particular, I think there's one person who's been hanging out for a while, and was giving us a little bit of a backstory as to why it may have even been delayed. Welcome along to One Brick Stud. How are you going this evening?
Evening. Happy Gringotts Eve. That's what I'm going to say. Absolutely buzzing. It's a big big day for Lego as a whole. It's a big Lego night with all the releases that are coming out. But yeah, absolutely buzzing. And just hopefully I'll be able to get my white whale set at midnight tonight. So absolutely buzzing. It is definitely like Christmas at the moment.
At the moment, yeah, certainly in the UK with lots of planned train strikes and everything tomorrow for the first release. I think there's going to be a few more people on the website than normal, and I think last time did the websites at midnight. Might have been closer back to the COVID days.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did plan to purchase Gringotts at my nearest Lego store tomorrow morning, which is Birmingham. But because there are train strikes, I'm unable to get down there. Obviously, I drive, but Birmingham is notoriously a pain to drive around and so on. And so I just thought, wow, do you know what? I'm not gonna be too disappointed. I'm a bit gutted that I can't, maximize the experience of buying Gringotts by going to the Lego store, because let's face it, Lego store is it's not just a store, it's an experience. But I can try my hardest to get it at midnight. Just pray there's going to be no website crashes or sold out, which is my biggest fear. But if I don't get it, if I can't get it tonight for X, Y, and Z reasons, then I'm going to pounce at my next opportunity.
It might be the sort of thing, if you don't get it tonight, you might be taking the trek into Birmingham tomorrow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I might find an alternative way of getting there. But no, I'm gonna try and get it tonight and see if I'm lucky enough to get it, because I've never experienced midnight purchases. It's the first huge set I've ever bought on day one. All the other big sets I bought, I've just waited for sort of like a discount, which is like my Hogwarts Express just up there. I waited for that to drop down in price, but this Gringotts, I can't wait. I look like Gringotts today. I've got me a whitish grey top on, got me black and dark greyish trousers for the vaults. I should have wore a green beanie hat or something on top to really complete the look. But yeah,
a big hook nose or something.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, but other than that, thanks for having me again. This is my fourth stream. I feel like a veteran now, experiencing the social media game. Four streams now. But thank you for having me, and big shout out to the replay gang who can't make watching it tonight. And they're going to hopefully catch up with this stream over the next few days.
Yeah, and if you didn't already, Hillian's Bricks brings up a good point. Don't forget the cash back when ordering online. So if you go to, in the UK, top cash back, and I think it is, and then go from there and go across, then you can get whatever percent it is. So, it just sort of helps, particularly with a big set like that. There'll be a few extra pounds that you can get back. So hopefully if you get all that sorted. So excellent. That's brilliant. Then we'll go from who can we bring in next? I think somebody else who I think was kind of keen to sort of order, and being an hour in front of us sometimes can tell us all the joys of the website being up or down or crashing or whatever else in Europe. So welcome along to Lady McBrick. How are you going this evening?
I'm great. Now I'm worried. You talked about Gringotts being sold out, and I joked with you before. I just realized that before the stream started, I got my €200 worth vouchers for the Lego online site. Let's assume Gringotts gets sold out before I get it. Now I have €200 sitting there. If within the next 60 days, Gringotts does not come back in stock, I need to buy something else, because after 60 days, my vouchers will be not valid anymore.
Well, I mean, that's interesting. I think there's two things. I'd be highly surprised if Gringotts did happen to sell out. But the next thing, are you telling me that you wouldn't go to Lego sometime in the next 60 days and buy something? I don't believe that for a second.
Right. Very true.
But it's still a good point.
Right.
So other than that, how has your week been, Nicole?
Not bad. As far as I remember, I don't think I bought any Lego within the last 7 days. Must be a record.
7 days clean.
Right. At least I don't remember it. Yeah.
I think you're too busy on sort of little chat there promoting everything. Oh, there could be this deal, or there could be that, or
Right, exactly.
going on
I'm
there.
wondering, Gringotts. Did I talk about Gringotts, the Hogwarts castle last time? When did I buy the Hogwarts castle?
Oh, you mentioned on Instagram, didn't you?
Right.
There was a discount, wasn't there?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I just told a lie. I get it, hopefully Saturday. I'm not really sure if it's really 7 days since I bought Lego. Maybe I have to retract that.
7 hours.
Right, definitely 7 hours.
So cool, excellent. Well, always good to have you along, and I think bringing in our last guest at the moment, somebody who's usually out there influencing backwards and forwards with everything that goes on. And I think I was looking at something, the Hogwarts microscale castle, and only because this person has been on at it, so it'd be interesting to see whether they actually end up picking it up. How are you going, Trevor?
Hi, Chris. I'm Matt and Nicole.
Right, Trev.
I'm going well. You're calling me an influencer? Have a look over there. Lady with brick. And you. It's because of you this morning, Matt, reading that message. I've gone out and bought the Viking boat now. That's your fault on that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's for anyone who didn't know, obviously we'll talk a bit later, but you've had the Viking ideas announced, which is going to be, I think, another month, and it may go very well with the Viking ship itself. But that ship is actually going to retire it's meant to retire at the end of the year. And there's been quite a number of places which have had a almost 50% discount in the UK. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of those are actually trying to clear out stock. So it could be the sort of thing that if you don't kind of get it now, it may go.
Yeah. So I'm glad you told me about that. So
it was interesting though, because Bricklicker, I sort of came across it through his video, and he's sort of like, oh, he doesn't think that it's actually been selling well. But you can actually go onto Amazon and look at the top 100 Lego sets that have been selling, like by the actual numbers. And it comes in at like the Viking ship comes in at like number 46. So I'm not quite sure it hasn't been doing well, but that's a really interesting list, which we might get to a little bit later on. But
maybe it comes down to that, to that conversation about whether Lego are making so many sets. Sort of all these Lego sets are competing against each other, aren't they? That's a conversation for another time.
Yeah. Well, I think we can touch on that because Lego released their results, well, as much as what they do for a private company, because they're not public, traded on the stock market. They don't have to release the results because they're a family-owned company, and certainly the results showing there that things are certainly slowed down. Like, okay, they're still got a healthy profit and everything, but it's not as it's not ridiculous as what it's been sort of during the COVID years. So it started to trail off. But I think, generally between inflation and general economy slowing down, and I think even amongst the panel here, we're probably a lot more cautious about what we're sort of buying as much as what we joke about influencing.
And I think we all should just take a deep breath. You're going to get your Gringotts. I know you are. It's not going to get sold out. I don't think Lego are stupid enough not to produce enough of this set. So you're going to get it. I'm sure you are. So you will get, Chris, I'll tell you now, because I've done a lot of ordering online. You will get, you'll be like me, you're refreshing. It becomes midnight, you're refreshing. It will say this website's busy. So you will get that, and you will get put in a queue. But just bear with it, and you will get on the website, and you will be
Yeah. I mean,
just bear with it. Don't panic.
I've had some experience because obviously my wife collects Disney Store exclusive, like sort of soft toys and so on. And, I've been stuck in that type of queue before. So if it's like an exclusive that's just come out, I've had to be in this online queue for like 15, 20 minutes. But I'm going to get it. Even if I'm there at 3 a.m, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to drop me a message if you managed it.
Oh, I will. Capital letters.
Yes.
Hillian's Bricks just picking up on a little bit there. Revenue is still growing for Lego. It's not slowing down. Profit is reduced. I think the revenue only grew by something like, 0.4, was it 0.4 million kroner or something, whatever the Danish currency is. So technically, yes, but if you consider inflation and everything like that, but definitely profit is down. They are, investing in new factories and increased raw materials. So they've had a good year. Yeah, no, there's still saying they did really well. I mean, particularly when they put it against the rest of the toy market, they're doing quite well on that.
It's
So,
sad
I don't
that we
think they're
do not
going
get better figures, because it is an interesting thing to look at the numbers, because there are so many sets which are really, really expensive. It would be interesting to see what is it that people really buy. Is it really the expensive things, or aren't they really not making the money with that, but rather with the other sets? As they have done, because theoretically, with increasing number of expensive sets, the revenue should get quite higher, shouldn't it?
I mean, it's the sort of thing. I think it comes down to whether or not they're increasing their consumer reach. I think certainly with the flower and the botanical range, that's probably drawn in more women, which probably otherwise wouldn't have done it. As they go out with a lot of the Lego Ideas sets, and a couple of years ago it was the dots and being able to get that into places where it normally wouldn't be. And my sense has always been, I don't know where it's come from, like AFOLs only account for about 20% of revenue. And so when you got, the other 80% to deal with, and certainly when you look at the top 100 list off Amazon, a lot of them are your smaller 10, 15, 20 pound sets, of course, because there's volume. It's going to be the grandparents getting stuff for the kids, or the pocket money sets, or whatever else. I was actually, the number one set is actually botanical set, and then the number two set is actually the Fast and Furious car, which I was really surprised by that.
Although that makes sense, because the price is quite good, and there are certain sets that I wouldn't buy from Lego, and one of them is Speed Champions, because they are 25 euros, I think, from Lego themselves, and I usually buy them 15, 16, 17 euros. Why would I pay 8 euros? Because 8 euros does not sound much, but in comparison, 25 euros, 8 euros off is quite a lot.
Yeah, no, the Speed Champions always seem to be on 25, 30% discount on there. So, no, it's a good point. But I think it's the sort of thing where the biggest sets, I don't think necessarily cannibalize the other part of the market. Like, okay, for some of the AFOLs, like, I'm sure, Chris, when you go and buy Gringotts, what is that, 400 odd pounds or something?
370.
Yeah. 370. Yeah.
For me, it's 430 euros. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the sort of thing where it's probably not going to cannibalize so much other sales, because it's sort of like you possibly would have just been buying that, as you said, of the White Whale and things. I mean, Nicole, you've picked up, I think, Rivendell and the Bat Box and a couple others recently.
Right. Yeah.
So I think overall you're contributing to the coffers anyhow. So
definitely, it's just when I look at a Lego set, my assumption is that the least bit of the price set up is the material. For one, I don't know why, but I believe that the plastic in itself, when Lego brings out a product, the price for the plastic will not be the factor for producing a set. I believe it's rather designing the set and then bringing it to the customers and making the marketing.
If they have to make new molds, though, that is
Yeah.
a lot hefty expense because those molds they
Yeah.
are really massively expensive. So
And printed tiles as well, you know.
Yeah,
That's, you know, that's why some people are like saying that the Gringotts got like 50 something stickers, you know, and if you combine it with the Diagon Alley set, you got like over 100 stickers, but there's no way they can get printed. It was just
No.
not possible. So I'm all for, you know, stickers and so on and bringing the price down, because I should think like,
well, if they did, your £370 set would become nearly £1,000.
Exactly, yeah. So
But would it be really? Because I
I'm
heard that others have other providers have sets with printed pieces, and the prices are not that exorbitant higher, and they produce even lower numbers than Lego.
I wonder if like licensed Lego themes.
I tend to agree with Lady McBrick. I'm not.
Yeah. I wonder if like if it's like a licensed Lego theme. Oh yes, right. It's I wonder if like licensed Lego themes, that prints is far more expensive because they're basically copy and pasting what's in the films onto bricks. I wonder if that's obviously raises the price of printing, you know, on bricks and so on. I wondered.
I think there's a couple of issues that you've got there. I think as Lady McBrick and I tend to, you know, go for that, what she's saying, you know, there are other brands out there who will do printing and everything like that, and it doesn't seem to add much to the price, if at all. If anything, some of them are actually cheaper. Again, it might come down to it's not the same quality in terms of it lasting as long, and there might be a special process in that. I think it's a nice little, what's the best way to say it? It's a nice little thing to have out there in the ether for the Lego group, because then, you know, they can have the fans talking about whether or not the prints are making any difference to the price. So I think there's one element that then in terms of your royalty, when it comes down to your franchises and things like that, having worked on the royalty sides of things before, you're only looking at about 8 to 15% of the price, depending upon what it is. Usually Disney's around about the 12% mark. So yes, it does add to it, but it's not this 25, 35%. And there was someone, I can't remember, was it Jay's Brick Blog, or during the week, they analyzed like 90 Lego sets, which were just like no licenses, no franchises, versus about 90 other ones, which had franchises attached to them and things. And they're and they looked at, okay, there was price per piece, but then they were looking at the weights as well. So the amount of plastic that you're getting, and they were coming out that the licensed ones were about another 25% over that. So given that I'm aware of where the royalties work out, it's sort of like, well, if there's a difference then of another 12 to 20% or 12 to 16% or something, that's probably actually in the profit itself rather than the actual royalty. So, but getting to Lady McBrick's earlier comment, there's going to be the full spectrum of, your overheads. Okay, yes, there's the plastic, as mentioned, the molds themselves, because each one of those molds is about 250,000. Then you've got, the whole production line, designing, reviews, marketing, transport, logistics. And then don't forget, usually the end retailer's got a 50% markup. So sometimes when you see it for a third off, they're still making,
And probably there is a certain percentage of just the name Lego. Because it's like with any other product. If you buy a pair of trainers, I guess you can buy the same quality of a shoe, the trainer, and you buy Adidas or some other brand, Puma, and you buy a non-name product, same quality. I guess for a high-end name, you pay for the name in itself to be able to tell, okay, that's an Adidas shoe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think until, maybe about the last 4 or 5 years, if you were looking at a non-Lego brick, you could generally feel the clutch wasn't as good, the quality wasn't as good, you know, all of that had problems. But I think now a lot of it's come up. We've sort of, you know, been playing with some of the fun hole stuff. There's been some of the, I think it's J.M. Bricklayer. I think Bonnie's been, you know, messing around with some of the fantasy stuff. And then, of course, you've always had the Kobe, which has just always been its own thing as well. So the actual quality of it, I think, you know, the differences are really narrowing down, and it's not a huge gap that it used to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, isn't there? It's not just the ones you just mentioned. There's so many more other companies following, like, very similar to Lego, isn't it? You know, I've heard of Fantasy. I know Fun Hole as well. And, you know, there's many others. You just Google it on Amazon, you get all these different types of all these brands and so on.
Right.
But yeah, can't say I've been really sort of interested in that. I've always been Lego through and through. The quality.
I mean, I did a set a while ago that was on Amazon. It was a different brand, and to me, yeah, the quality wasn't there for me. I could tell, especially on even transparent pieces. Pieces were scratched. You know, it didn't feel the same. The clutch power wasn't the same. So, you know, it's not always, you know,
not always
a good experience.
But there seem to be quite a few providers which are, from quality perspective, as good as Lego, if not better. It's just to find it, to pick and choose. That's why in the past I chose Lego, because I was sure what I get, and I don't have the space to branch out into other providers. But from what I heard,
and mixing them, I've never been confident in mixing as well. So it's like, you know, you see all these display cases that's not part of Wicked Brick or anything like that, and it's just, it's like look into the that display case for Smiths. Fantastic, great price. It looks high quality, but you just no way you could put a minifigure on the plates. That's part of that display case, because doesn't it like put unnecessary stress on the minifigures if you put in like Lego minifigures on non-Lego studs?
Well, even with the Lego ones, I think they don't necessarily recommend that you have your. I'm just trying. I don't have a minifigure. I'll just grab one of the old ones. You know, if you're displaying minifigures, and that's why they don't recommend, you know, putting them, you know, based on a stud sort of thing, and why they generally have those ones where you can have like the little slithers that go in between the legs to sort of hold them in place. Because it doesn't put the stress on them. Because when you do have, you know, studs going into the bottom there over a period of time, you are subjecting them to a little bit of stress. So it's not just a you know, sort of isolated to Lego ones. But there was an interesting thing which came out during the week. I don't know if you saw it. We've got the new Sonic brick heads coming out, the Knuckles and Tails, and you have these. I might actually just do this up on the big screen. So you have these snot bricks. Try to get a good angle.
I can see
now, the ones that are coming out in the Sonic and Tails sets are just slightly different. And it's slightly different to the point that when you put them, I've got everything black on black, so it doesn't help. But they are changing them slightly, because what they found with these ones, when you go to put them onto a snot, before they weren't sitting properly. There's a little bit of a gap. So now with the newer ones, they will sit properly, but then it then means that the direction, like if you got snot, you know, think one's plane going that way and one plane going this way, the plane now going this way is going to actually put pressure on them. Mm-hmm. So it's going to get really interesting to see how that shakes out, because that's going to introduce a new set of problems. And then it becomes a matter of these ones, particularly like at the moment, those pieces are new colors. So at least in the Sonics and Tails one, you'll know, okay, if it's I think is it the yellow and the orange ones have these new molds. So if they keep this colors separate, then you'll know, okay, well, that's that style and that's that style. But, if they start making them the black ones, then all of a sudden that's going to become different. For the average person, nobody's going to care. For Bricklink sellers, that becomes a really interesting challenge.
Yeah.
What they do have, though, is in these ones, you've got the stud on the bottom, and it's actually inside that circle. The whole thing is filled in. But in the new ones, it's only a semicircle which is filled in. So you'll be able to visually tell them, because otherwise sometimes when kids running the Bricklink store, they do have the numbers of the pieces on there, but generally you need to take a picture with a camera with a decent magnifier, and you've got to get the light just right so you can read the number, because as with
that's
anything,
what I just thought. Yeah, there is a number in the bricks, but you really have to good eyes.
Like my eyesight's not good enough for it. Usually half the time I'm sitting there with my camera with the zoom on, and you've got to catch the light just right so you can see it. And because all the the 7s and the 5s and the 3s and the 9s, they all look the same just to the naked eye.
Right.
But
what have we done before? We had the iPhone and Samsung, the smartphones in the past, before these were invented, when we wanted to look at something very small.
I think you
a
just
magnifying glass.
Okay. Could be.
But so but just getting back to, I think someone raised the point about the quality of the bricks and things. Obviously they're constantly refining it as it goes along. So with that, I might just take a quick spin around and see what everybody's building this evening, or taking apart, or whatever's happening. So One Brick Stud, what are you working on this evening?
I'm actually not building. I'm actually no backlog. Everything's done. I was sort of in the middle of completing the Hungarian Horntail, which is just up there. However, not too long ago, I dropped a piece on the floor. You know, when you drop a piece, you'll always find it. Never found it. So I've had to request a new brick from Lego. So that was the only set I really need to complete. But other than that, I'm not really building anything. I've just I built the banners over the past couple of weeks. That was enough for me for the time being, because obviously I want to prepare myself for I wait for Gringotts. I've just been, I suppose, doing the most boring part of Lego, and that is cleaning my Lego sets and so on. And so I go, obviously, when it comes to cleaning, makeup brush, and also I'm going to recommend this enough. Brilliant clean Lego. I've
looked at that, Chris. I've looked at that. I haven't got one of them. I was going to ask, are they really that good?
Yeah, fantastic. I've just cleaned the Disney Castle, and I took a few before and after photos. Brilliant. You know, it looks like it's just been freshly built. It's just a trick. And I know some people might think they're no different to these handheld vacuums you can get from Amazon, but I like the feel of this vacuum. It's very weighty, and also so many people in the Lego community have reviewed these. So the way I see it, it's from Klima Bricks, because it's been reviewed a number of times. For me, this product's been validated a number of times, and I feel really confident to use it. And the bristles on the vacuum are great. They're not harsh on the bricks. They're really good. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. Just literally going around all my sets, vacuuming them, and then just getting everything clean and so on. But
Psyching yourself up.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. But I really want to start like getting some display cases, but I've been sort of like urged to catch up with Lego Harry Potter because like when I started collecting Lego, and then obviously my primary theme being Harry Potter, I've always played a little bit of catch up, and I feel like I'm just a few sets away from owning all the sets. And then I think at some point I'd like to just start looking at display solutions. I do want to dabble into the Wicked Brick cases and so on. There's no question I'm going to get a case for Gringotts. And,
Don't dabble, don't do it, don't do it.
No, but they are pricey. I know they are pricey, but I think when you get like these sets that you just absolutely love, I want to get the case for Disney Castle and a few other sets like the Diagon Alley. But you know, that's something I want to look into. But like I said,
double the price of your set.
Absolutely. Well, I do look at other ones as well. I mean, Wicked Bricks is great. I can't fault their products. But then you've got other ones like I Display It. I've got an I Display It case just behind me for Privet Drive. Brilliant. When I bought Privet Drive, I think I got that. My wife bought it me like a week after it came out. Built it, immediately put it in a case. 2 and a bit years later, there's not one bit of dust on it. It's that good. And I know there's other companies out there like Boxco, and I know there's a couple of others, but they're not as pricey as Wicked Bricks. But the thing about Wicked Bricks is you pay for what you get. You know, it's a very handsome product. And I know
I haven't tried any other display cases, so it's interesting to see your take on different brands as well, because that's always helpful.
Well, the thing about Wicked Bricks, despite I couldn't speak highly enough of them, I know the prices are a bit steep, but like they don't make cases for every single set. So like if I want to get like the Battle of Hogwarts set and I want to put that in a case, they don't do it. But I Display It, they have a case for nearly every single set, and it's just plain.
Just to give you an update on that, they're now doing custom cases, various different sizes, so it does cover. They're not specifically made for a certain amount of sets, but they do custom ones of various sizes, so you can fit different models in now.
Nice. Okay, that's great.
That's something new that they were doing. Yeah,
that's great.
So, but like you say, I mean, the exclusive ones, they are a lot of money, but you do get what you pay for at the end of the day. They are top quality, like the one I'm waiting for the Hocus Pocus. You know, I've got an exclusive one that's sold out now, so I'm really pleased I got that one with a UV printed background, because not all of them have got printed backgrounds. And I'm waiting for that. My only bugbear with Wicked Brick is because they only produce cases that are to order. You know, they're manufactured to order. There is a hefty time that you're going to wait for your delivery, but once it arrives, the quality is just second to none, and the build.
Absolutely. It is.
If you're prepared to wait, for them, then that's fine. Because I reckon I might get my Hocus Pocus display case. I'm hoping to get it just ready for Halloween, and I ordered it a month ago. So.
And they make sets look so much better. You don't have to worry about.
Oh God, yeah. By the time I finished lighting kit, because Matt's got me on lighting kit. The case, I've stop motion this blooming build for what would be 3 months. It'll be an honor to put it on, switch it on, and just admire it with a nice cup of coffee, thinking, "Gee, done finally."
Yeah, that's why I'm always like very strict when it purchasing Lego. Getting sets at a discounted rate, because I know from now on and definitely next year I want to start putting some of my favorite sets in cases. I want to start making savings on my sets. You know, there might be a month where I say, Joe, what? I'm not going to get any sets. I'm just going to focus on displaying the sets that I treasure. And sometimes if you get an amazing deal off a set, right? So I take into account this set here, which is one of my favorite Star Wars sets. This one.
Oh yeah. That's a good one. I mean, Matt's done a LED lighting kit for that. That's gorgeous.
Yeah. See, I could, buy it at the full retail, or I could go and save £30 on it, and that £30 I could put towards the case. and
Yeah.
and it's not it's not that, sort of like not going through financial hardship, by buying something at full retail and then going to buy a case. At least if I get a discount, I can put it towards the case, and I think that's all right. I can't wait to get the case for that. I really do. I've seen the background and it just looks awesome. But yeah, that, and I've seen the Winnie the Pooh case as well. My wife owns the Winnie the Pooh set. I'd love to put that in a case for her.
Well, you'll know they'll do a special exclusive edition for Gringotts, don't you?
Oh,
They will.
Yeah.
They will do.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't.
If anything, it's like the Disney one for the latest Disney castle. You're going to be looking at 250, 260 for that, at least.
Absolutely.
Just to put it out there.
Yeah, but I think it's worth it. They're a worthy investment when it comes to keeping your sets protected, clean, not going through all the hassle and the inconveniences.
Oh god, yeah, I totally agree. I mean, when I built the lighthouse set, I've got a case for that. In fact, there's a video on my channel if you want to check it out, Chris, about me building it, and I was reviewing it there. And it's at the top of my stairs, and I've got a painting of a ship, an old ship, in struggling in the waves, and the lighthouse underneath in this case. It just looks stunning. But it wouldn't do normally if it just sat there. It really is. I totally agree with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do want to try Lego, because they've only recently released a minifigure display case for Harry Potter. It's sort of like, I suppose you could use it for all minifigures, but it's got a Harry Potter background.
I saw that. Yeah,
I do want to give that a try, because I've got like so many minifigures from like advent calendars, CMF series, and so on, and just want to just put all those minifigures in a case and so on. I want to give that a try. I might pick that up next month and give it a whirl.
Yeah, you have to let me know your views on that, because it'd be interesting. Because I noticed that, I thought I've never seen Lego do a display case like that.
Yeah, sort of wondering why they don't do it. But then again, I mean, Lego don't own Wikibit, do they? They just work with them.
No, they're just an affiliate of the Lego. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can get some really. I've come across some really like cheap and sort of nasty sort of display cases from Amazon, where it's just like the acrylic is just not clear enough. It just looks a little bit cloudy. But it's got to be.
At least with Wikibit, you peel it all off. It's all protected. And you've got the screws and everything. It's a different. Have you ever built one of their exclusive ranges?
No, I haven't.
That is different, because you get such a matte black finish. It is a different, because I was comparing it, because I did it for the up house. I'm thinking, well, what is the differences? What are you paying for? And you do notice those differences, because you think, it's just display case, but you do, because you get a matte finish, you get the UV printed background. You get what you pay for again. So they're worth it. Yeah.
I know a few people that do that. I know Tech does, because I know Tech's got the Razor Crest case, and I'm thinking that's from Wicked Bricks. But it just looks after your sets that you just absolutely adore. You're not going to get it for every single set, because that would just be, I've done the maths. I've done like, how much would it cost for each set of Harry Potter? No thanks. No, I'm not paying.
It's not just that, Chris. It's the fact that. It's like the one for the Hocus Pocus. I mean, the cottage, it's big, but you could put it on the shelf behind me. But I've measured the case that's going to arrive for it, and it's too wide to go on this shelf. So you've got to think about your room and the space that you've got, because it does go up because of the case, because it's surrounded and you've got a bigger base. So you're not necessarily be able to display them as you'd like.
I know, it's always the height and the width. The depth never seems to be a problem with me. So I use basic bookcases, and I use deep ones. I think it's like 30 centimeters deep, and it's always you're sort of like you're sort of fighting with the width and the height of these sets, not necessarily the depth. And I know what you mean.
It's Gringotts about 2 foot tall, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely, yes. It is 2 foot. That's I know.
Have you got any display cases, Nicole? I don't think you have you?
No. If I wanted to do that, first of all, it's not really fitting into my display area. It would look weird just to have one display. For example, when you look at the area of the city, where would I fit in a display case? It would look weird. And
Yeah,
plus, it's a challenge for me to finance my Lego addiction as it is. If I wanted to invest in display cases as well.
Yeah, I know. So if anybody doesn't get cases, I'm all for why they don't. You know, it is pricey. Lego's already an expensive hobby. Adding acrylic cases to that, blimey. But I think I'm nearing to what case I'm going to get next. It's going to be because I'm very keen. I don't understand why I haven't got it yet. I think the set that it's got the closest to Gringotts, which is just a reasonable gap, is the Home Alone house, and I can see Nicole's got it.
Yeah,
I can see it there. It's and I want to get the case for that because I want to basically display it over Christmas downstairs in the living room. But because I've got 4 indoor cats, I don't want all fur in that going all over it. So I might go for a display case, a wicked brick one. Because in the Home Alone case, and it looks awesome.
right.
Yeah.
And in certain areas, it totally makes sense because I used to have in the old apartment, I had Lego in the bedroom. I cannot recommend that because there is a certain combination which is bad, which is dust and humidity. Humidity.
Yeah.
humidity.
Humidity.
It's not that I do anything weird in my bedroom. It's just that the breathing at night seems to have a weird effect on the dust on furniture and on Lego. There was so much dust, even more than in any other room that I have in my apartment. And I'm told that's what happens if you are at night breathing in a room.
Yeah, absolutely. So like the spare room here, we're quite good. We don't get it's not really that dusty, but in the bedroom, you know, I could polish our bedside tables and they're dusty in a week's time.
Right.
It's just, and obviously we've got cats as well, and they sleep on us all year round.
Yeah.
So there's fur being blown everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. But definitely dust is an issue. Sunlight. I tell you what, if anybody puts Gringotts in front of a window, that's not going to sit right with me. That big white set in front of a window. No. Yeah, I saw a review because obviously all the reviews have been coming out, haven't they, from various people from LAN and so on. And I'm with Cheesy Studios. Have you ever heard of Cheesy Studios?
Yeah. Because I watched. Thank you for sending me that link, by the way. I appreciate that.
That's all right. You know,
I hadn't come across him before.
Oh, he's brilliant. He's probably the reviewer. Lego in general, I'd recommend. Harry Potter definitely. And he was saying that I suppose this goes back to our conversations about the quality of bricks and so on. Like there is such doubts about the structural integrity of these sets, whether they are stable enough. And I came across it as well. There was a lot of, I don't know whether it's called scaremongering in the community, but they did think Lego, the Gringotts wasn't stable enough that if you breathe on it, it's going to fall over. No, it's not. We gave it a really good push.
Yeah.
It did. My anxiety went a little bit high because he gave it one hell of a push. Didn't fall over.
Yeah.
Because apparently the base plate, because obviously you can display it, obviously just the top off on its own. It sits on like on a cradle, so there's nowhere for it to go because it's got 90-degree angles at all 4 corners of the base plate, which I thought was an ingenious way of actually doing it and elevating the base plate.
Yeah,
it did look sturdy to me. It would take a big push to push that over, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. And
you're not just going to cough and then my Gringotts has gone.
But there's some markings on each of the corners of the base plate underneath. There's little markings. That's not new, is it? Or is that? No, that is new, isn't it? It's like all these like markings underneath, like all these lines that's embedded into the base plate. Not sure if that's helping with the the stability, but I'll have to
give it more friction. I don't know. I don't know whether
it's not Technic. Complete clutch power. It's not Technic either.
No.
Apparently, there's no Technic piece except for one, I think, just on top of the vault. But I think it's all pretty much brick built. Which is interesting. Watch out. Just watched shout out to Basil. I watched Wheel of Mock Tune the other day on Twitch. That is funny. That's a funny watch.
Yeah, I tuned into the stand up to cancer one. It was absolutely brilliant, hilarious. I mean, some of the designs that they come up with Lego, it's just I take my hat off too because I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
really good ones.
The very first one they did, which was part of the 72-hour stream, I think they did a year ago. I was having such a rotten week. I just needed something to make me laugh, and I just watched their Cabbage's Wheel of Mock Tune, his slot that he had, and it was just hilarious, you know, especially with Baz's creation at the end. His lady that he made. Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, Baz is a true legend to me. He's absolutely awesome.
He's
love watching him on Instagram, Twitch. He's so, you know what I mean. He's just there's no airs and graces. He'll say what he's thinking. I like that. I really do. I've got total respect for someone who does that. He just says how it is, and no, he's brilliant. Really is.
We were part of a community, and we all like, you know, there's so many people I watch. But Baz is one of those I could listen to for a very long time. Got a lot of time for him, and also like Craig as well, and I do like Cabbage as well. But it's great. I'm enjoying their castle talk as well. Their castle talk is great. I just can't wait for the next one. So
they did that. I think it was on a Saturday. Tuned into that.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can download Baz's playlist as well for all his singing. I can't wait for that to come. So funny that is.
Baz's
actually got a good voice. Yeah, Baz's greatest hits coming out soon.
Oh, that's brilliant.
No, they do some fantastic work as well. Yeah, all credit to them.
Yeah, if I want to know anything about castles, like in the future, because I do want to get the Lioness Castle at some point. If I want any information, I'd like, I'd definitely look at Baz's videos and Craig's and so on. It's a bit like Friends. If it was Friends, I'd go to Monarch or somebody.
Yeah,
you know. But yeah, Baz seems to know a lot about castles.
I wonder what Baz thinks of that new Viking set.
That'd be interesting to hear. Yeah.
Well, the other thing, we've got that, it looks like some sort of little castle GWP, or what we've seen a little bit of a leak of.
Oh, yes, yeah. It even opened up and got a little interior. Yeah, that's good. That looks good.
I'll have a look at that. I don't think I've seen that. I do want to explore a new theme next year.
Yeah, it's only sort of come out today, and it's only kind of like
Sorry, Chris, any new theme?
No, just say I'd like to explore a new theme for next
and
year.
then
Dreams might be one. The thing about dreams is,
Dreams around me.
I went to the local shop near me, Worcester Toys and Games. Brilliant. They seem to have a good selection of new Lego sets, and I know Joanna from High Tea Toys. She's done a couple of videos with her visits to the store that's just down the road from me, and they got like a bit of a dream sort of display, and I saw their sets, and that's a nightmare ship. Why, it looks so good, and I probably will start that, and then everything's just then I'm gonna have to go through all the other sets. Right. Leave studio.
Might be a nice little lead in. Nicole, what are you building tonight?
Hey,
nightmares and
there it is.
Yeah. Let me see. And it will look like that when it's finished.
It'll look like this.
Yeah. Wait, we need to switch.
Yeah,
And when
it's-
when Nicole has finished, it will look like this.
I'll just
Right.
quickly do the switcheroo.
Yeah.
It's coming.
That's
That's one option that it can look like.
Yeah, Nicole, which option are you going to go for? The wheels or?
I'm not really sure yet. Can't decide.
So good.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, we put it into the airship mode, and then I was going to change it into the wheels, but then the kids got the extra pieces to do that, and then start building with them, and goodness knows where they are now. So it's like, oh, okay. Well, that said, I was planning if I get the time to go through and actually motorize it by pulling apart sort of a previous Technic set, so you can have it fully remote control. And then if I was getting really keen, I might put some lights in it, but that might be a bridge too far.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So, having said that, Trevor, we never got to you either. What are you building today?
A little bit of a clue.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, they're doing the floral art set that you're promoting to everyone.
Yeah, I've never done one of these before, so yeah, there we go.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, half price. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I say this is the first one I've ever done of these, so these are all new to me. You get all the bags of all the colours, you know. So and there's a whole new way, obviously, doing it on the instructions because you've got a little key here with all the different colours on.
Mm.
So I'm actually learning here. So say first one I've done. So yeah, it's quite. As we're waiting for the hustle and bustle of midnight, it's quite therapeutic.
Yeah.
Keeping me chilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before going online and spending money.
Oh, I'm
I'm
curious
interested
to
to see what
if
it's like when it's all together. Sorry,
Yeah.
Nicole.
It's just I'm curious to see if you now start to build other mosaics too, because I have 2 of the Beatles sets. I have the big Vader and a couple of others.
Yeah, it might be my new line.
Yeah, it is.
I do like Spider-Man. I do like that one.
Oh, that's a good one. That yeah.
That is a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah, wouldn't mind that.
Nice.
Yeah,
So it's coming out the wall.
yeah. So and I'd like is it the Wave? I'd like to do that one.
Mhm.
So I've got my eye on doing some of the art sets, and plus you don't have to bother about rooms so much because they go on your wall.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Got those banners. Those banners that the 2 banners I built, they can go on the wall as well. But I don't think I want to be knocking in and banging a nail in the wall just for those 4.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
And then we had Barry there was coming back with a comment about the Viking Village. It's awesome, great price, and nice looking play set for kiddies too. Yeah, it's
That's a good point, isn't it?
yeah,
Very,
it's originally just sort of price to piece ratio. Something like that's usually about 2,000 pieces, £200. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be 130 euros. I mean, ideally that would be £115, but I'm sure that's going to translate into 130 euros. The only thing about it, though, when you start to have a look at it, it is kind of, they do have the modular bits, and they are a bit open and airy. So that's, I mean, what do other people think of it?
You can reconfigure it. You can change it up, can't you?
Yeah, you can. Yeah. I like it. I've even bought a boat to go with it, so I'm all in.
Yeah. I think it's great, and it just shows not every good set, great set has to be £300+. It doesn't have to be. That set is such a good price, and my sister's definitely getting it. I showed her the image yesterday, and she's day one for
And,
her.
and I think from the original submission, I think Lego done really well with it. I think it's, it looks really nice. Yeah. They haven't ruined any of it. They've enhanced it, to be fair, from the original design.
Yeah.
What do you think about, because you've got those insects available on September the 7th?
The insect's not for me. No, I can't really say that for me. They do look good, and I think when they're next with all the other sets, like all the flowers and everything, it looked pretty good. I think they could even fit a Lego city, couldn't they? I mean, you could have it like some sort of insect invasion or something like that, you know, massive things.
Yeah.
It could fit.
No, I like them. I don't know. There's just something bugging me about them, but I do like them.
Yeah. but I can appreciate just what Lego can do now. It's engineering, what it can do with bricks. It's just one of the reasons why I love Lego so much. It's just amazing what they can do with, like, I keep thinking to myself, it's just plastic bricks. That's all it is, but it's not. It's just what they can produce now.
Well, as you've seen, it's an art form, isn't it? You know, it is pure art form, what they can produce, what you can do. I mean, look at what people just mock. That amazes me. I wouldn't even know where to start. I really wouldn't. And you look at some of the ingenious designs and what people come up with. It's just amazing. Really.
Absolutely.
I mean, did you see that one? Sorry, Matt. Just touching on mock. Did you see that one Bazza did? Did he do it on, was it Studio or something? That one of the Mandalorian, the end scene. I'm sure it was him that designed that. That needs to become a set, that does. You ever see that? That was brilliant.
You have to look at that. I think I've
Sure
seen
it was
it.
Bazza.
I do recall it's in the back of my head.
I know he designed it. I don't know whether he actually built it.
Still, which one was that?
It was the Mandalorian. It was the end scene when he was sitting outside.
Oh, yeah. Yep. No.
By that pond with the frog and, you know, the child, Grogu. Really good, that one.
Yeah.
Really
That
good.
was good.
That needs to become a diorama set, that does.
Definitely. Be interested to see where they go with the next.
Pretty quick with that.
So it'd be interesting to see where they go with them. Just going, like we was mentioned earlier about the mechs. It'd be interesting to see where they go with them. You know, I think I think they got a good reception. And just because mechs isn't part of Star Wars, but it can be. I think mechs could even be in any other theme. But no, I think they're pretty good.
I would love if they gave us via the Max new minifigures, which are exclusive. In a very inexpensive way.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Absolutely. They could do one in Mandalorian. They could do one, I don't know, in a year's time. They could do one based on a Dark Trooper. They can do one on Mando, and then they can perhaps do one on Moff Gideon and give us an exclusive Moff Gideon from season 3. Now that would be great. But they probably won't, because, you know, some of these minifigures, they might just drop into an expensive set.
Well, I think that's been the bit of criticism recently, is a lot of these minifigures, you know, for these expensive sets, they start off as exclusive to it, and then 3 months later, they're in just a really cheap sort of set.
We've seen that with Diagon Alley. So many minifigures that came in Diagon Alley have been released in a book. Other sets, I think there's only about 4 or 5 genuinely exclusive minifigures from that set. It is a little bit disappointing, but at the same time, you know, and I'm a person that likes to see everybody get what they want and what can they afford. But there are some people that just can't get Diagon Alley for financial reasons. You know, they might not be able to justify spending so much money on a set. They might not be able to afford it, and if they really want a certain minifigure, I'm happy for Lego to occasionally just drop it in a cheaper set because, that's probably the only way they're really going to get it.
And no one who does not want Diagon Alley or any other set, they don't need to buy it. Then they can just separately buy or in a rather inexpensive way, the minifigs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I find out with a lot of Star Wars sets that, because I collect Star Wars, but it depends if it's like the diorama sets. There's a few Star Wars sets I like, but there tends to be a minifigure in a set that I really, really want, and I'll just go on Bricklink and get it. Like that, sort of like the yellow droid Ned B, for example, that came in what is nicknamed the Grey Puddle set.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of that set, but I got the Ned B minifigure, and I only got this one a couple of weeks ago. I wasn't a big fan of the Millennium Falcon. It's the one based on the sequel trilogy, and that was the minifig I really wanted from that set because I like minifigures with new molded heads and so on. So yeah, it's got that one from Bricklink. That's Bulio or Bolio, you pronounce it, and he's the one that gets decapitated. Well, gets his head cut off by Kylo Ren at the start of Rise of Skywalker. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, I tell you what, though, they sometimes they do know what they're doing. Lego. So, like in the Green God set, as I said a couple of months ago, they were going to bring out a Bellatrix with a printed dress piece. Now, this Bellatrix is new. It came in the Battle of Hogwarts, and everyone was shocked that it didn't have dress printing. It's got dual molded arms. It's a beautiful minifigure. But I just knew they were going to, because they know how much we want a Bellatrix with dress printing. And I knew they were going to bring it in Gringotts, and they have. So they've obviously got that minifigure, that particular piece. If you want to get it, you're going to have to, well, you can obviously go through Bricklink, but you have to go through Gringotts for the time being. But yeah, just makes the minifigure more desirable.
Did you see that picture on Instagram earlier? It was Greg outside Gringotts, and he said, "This is how you spell it, Lego."
Yeah.
I thought it was funny, that one.
I don't think it's all too that bad. I mean, I saw Cheesy Studios. He cut the sticker, and it doesn't look too bad. I don't even think if it's pushed, the two stickers are pushed so close together. I don't think it's all that bad, to be honest. But
what you going to do personally? Are you going to cut anything off it to try and marry the two up, or are you just going to put it on as it is?
Yeah, put it on as it is. I'm very as pure as you can get with Lego. I just literally buy a set, build it, display it with the minifigures in front, and that's it. I don't make any changes or any mocks or anything like that. And that's that. I've got no issue with it. But that piece should have been printed, really, because it's a focal point of the building. It's that should have been printed.
Yeah, if you're going to print one piece, it needs to be that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, just print that, and that's absolutely fine. I don't mind a sticker. I don't mind them, but yeah, but there's they've done that with the Wheezy Wizard Wheezes as well. There's some gaps in the wording, and it is what it is, but just grateful it's on its way.
On its way.
So I missed this. What's the issue? Is there a misprint in the sticker or something?
No, it's basically it's Gringotts TS Bank. They basically got the T and S that in the word Gringotts on one sticker. They got Gringott on one sticker and TS Bank on the other. But when you put the stickers together, the T's are not close enough. So it just says Gringott TS Bank. And that's it. So it just looks a bit. If you see a picture, you'll see what everyone else is. And it's not great, but it is what it is. And I know some people have, Cheesy Studios cut his sticker as close to the first T as possible. And it doesn't look too bad, but I don't want to be tampering with it. Because all it takes is you just get your scissors a little bit too close to the T, and that's it.
Yeah, you've had it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know Lego will give you new sticker sheets because they will. They're very easy to get hold of. You know, you can just say to Lego, I haven't had this sticker sheet, or this sticker sheet was all crumpled. Can I request a new sticker sheet? They'll send it you straight away.
Yeah. Full in there. If Orca is in the printed piece next year, I'll be annoyed. What one is that? Orca? What's that for? Does anyone know?
No. What I mean by that.
Yeah, what set is that in, or what are you referring to there?
Was there an idea set that was approved?
I don't know.
I mean, you have Jaws, but that's not an orca, obviously.
What is an orca? Does anybody know what an orca is?
I thought Free Willy. Wasn't Free Willy an orca?
Oh, he is talking about Jaws. What? Oh, the boat from Jaws.
Oh, the boat.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it needs to be a printed piece. It's on the side of the boat. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah. No, thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, I think then.
What is an orca? Some sort of whale? Is it? Is it a killer whale?
Yeah, usually it's a killer whale, which is why it is obviously the name of the boat in Jaws. What? Yeah, Baz has said there.
What's Free Willy? Willy from the movie Free Willy. Kind of animal.
Yeah,
that was
that's it.
Yeah.
But he's not a killer whale, right? He was
Free Willy's an orca.
Yeah.
I did not know that. I've never even seen the Free Willy films. I know it's about a whale. It's about it. And there's a little boy in there that falls in love with it. That's it. So I know. But is it in the 80s? 80s and 90s?
90s.
Or was it 90s? Yeah.
I think the whale was so useless it got stuck another couple of times, or at least they had some more sequels. So
yeah, I'm going through a bit of an 80s phase at the moment. I'm just watching a number of 80s films, and watched Lost Boys the other day. I haven't seen that for a while. Lost Boys, and one of my favourites films from the 80s is the Terminator.
Yeah.
Very cool. I recently saw the documentary about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah. I do need to watch that. I've seen some highlights and or some key moments from that documentary. Yeah, it does look good.
Yeah.
So I do like Arnold. I do like Arnie. You know, he's not an Oscar-winning actor, but he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in one of my favourite Christmas films, Jingle All the Way. Do love that. Yeah, I do want to get the pop vinyl Turbo Man, which is the doll or the figure he tries to get in the film for his son.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do want to get that. Yeah.
What did you think of the documentary, Nicole?
It was actually really, really entertaining. I just started it out of interest. I assumed I would watch 5 minutes and then move on. And in the end, I watched it completely because it was really an interesting. I'm not really sure to what extent it was really truthful, but it was entertaining.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, I'd seen it, and then I'd read his autobiography 5 or 6 years ago, and it's probably one of the better autobiographies I've read. I'm a bit of a Schwarzenegger fan anyhow, but just the fact that he's had effectively, careers in 3 different fields, and he's achieved at all high levels. So,
Yeah,
he's
right.
obviously bodybuilding, he's Mr. Universe. Then he went into movies, he was the highest paid actor. Then he went into politics and he was the governor of California. Like, it's.
Right. Yeah. And even in his acting career, he was into comedy, he was into action.
Yeah. I watched Twins a few weeks ago with him in Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good film.
Brilliant film. And they were going to make a sequel to that film, and just didn't get off the ground. They were going to do one called Triplets sequel, when you've got Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito, and Eddie Murphy.
Interesting.
But they didn't get it off the ground for whatever reason. But yeah. Kindergarten Cop.
I think that was always a classic thing. They used to have the talk about the way that Hollywood pitch films and everything like that when they go in for the sessions and things like that. And for the Twins film, there was only 5 words: Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito, Twins. And they, as soon as they heard that, they're like, "Yep, green light."
Right.
Who's ambulance?
Yeah.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah. It sounded European more than British. It was interesting with the results and things that Lego released. They always have, the top 6 themes. But this year they've only done the top 5, which is City, Friends, Star Wars, Icons, which used to be Creator, and Technic. And do you know what number 6 is, which is now dropped out?
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, I know that because nearly every year Harry Potter gets into past 3 years they've been in the top 5. But I would just wait till after Gringotts and Hogwarts Castle and Grounds is released to the public, and I think that will just shoot us back into the top 5. I think so. Yeah. I'll predict that anyway.
Because it's interesting when you're saying earlier that you're pretty much at the point where you've pretty much got the whole collection of what you're after with Harry Potter. Do you think there's kind of like they've generally not touched the last couple of films for sets and things, and they're obviously recycling, or not recycling, but you've got another Privet Drive, you've got the different colored roofs that they've done on the sets. As a fan, is there anything you could think of which they could really sort of like expand into, or like give it another area that they haven't touched that might do well?
This comes up a lot, and I've heard a few people in the Lego community say it's like Lego are running out of ideas on where to take it next. Not in the slightest. There's far too many ideas they can go down. There's so many places they haven't explored yet. The Luna Lovegood House, Malfoy Manor. There's so many things they can do in Deathly Hallows and so on. They can, because we've got the new TV series starting in a couple of years. That's gonna create so many more opportunities for more sets to be created. There's always been a bit of uncertainty with Harry Potter. I remember in the very few years, a number of YouTubers would say it wouldn't last. No, it wouldn't go any further than 2021. And every year these sets get designed, they're popular, and Harry Potter's going into the top 5 nearly every year for a reason. They are moving into Deathly Hallows territory. There was some concern a few years ago whether Lego were going to avoid Deathly Hallows because it is dark, right? It gets darker and darker. But when because basically Lego came out, I want to say with a statement, it was a bit of a statement that Deathly Hallows wasn't in line with their values, right? But they never said that. So a lot of people under the illusion that that Deathly Hallows sets were never going to be made. They were always going to be made, and yeah, now they've started. They brought out the Ministry of Magic set. You know, they've got Gringotts, they've got the Battle of Hogwarts, and also they've actually made sets in the past which are so probably representing the most darkest scenes. You know, you got like Goblet of Fire, you know, the Rise of Voldemort set, and you got bricks in there that's meant to represent Harry's blood. You know, and there was a child, well, I say a child, but Cedric Diggory, who died, he was a student. So they I think they can go anywhere. But going back to your question, I think there are far too many ideas they can go, and we've already found out next year what some of the sets is going to be. We know there's a Burrow coming, and I think with the Burrow, which we've already got, but they're going to make one that's fully enclosed, and I think that will lead on to a fully enclosed Grimmauld Place, a fully enclosed Privet Drive, and I don't mind if they keep revisiting other places, because Star Wars do it. I mean, look at all the land speeders, the AT-ATs, and so on. You know, if Star Wars can have that, we can have ours, you know.
Yeah. And we have to, because that's a very, very good point. I think Harry Potter is in the same troubling position as Star Wars. There are always coming new fans into the field of Lego.
Yeah.
And Lego retire sets. And imagine if Lego would never do an X-Wing again. Theoretically, we could argue there are so many X-Wings, land speeders.
Yeah.
Do we need another one? I don't. But the next person in 3 years who can't buy the old ones without selling a kidney, it's nice that they have a new land speeder.
Absolutely. And you can clearly see some of the plans Lego are having now. You know, they're creating a new Diagon Alley at the moment. We've got the Wheezy Wizard Wheezers and the Outpost that came out. People think it's a bit unnecessary because we've got the Wheezy Wizard Wheezers in the Diagon Alley set. That's going to probably bring a second Gringotts. No doubt there's going to be a second Gringotts. There's going to be a play scale version. And, you know, they're expanding Hogsmeade at the moment. You know, past 3 years, we've had Honeydukes, 3 Broomsticks. Then we had Shrieking Shack. We had the Hogsmeade Village Station this year. And the Advent calendar is got a key focus on Zonkos, which is not really seen in the film. It's acknowledged. And I think they're going to go and build a Zonkos. I think they're putting so many things in place. And I wouldn't be surprised, because I do think they're going to go into the fully enclosed buildings and so on, like with Burrow next year. And I think they're doing a Gringotts. This massive, well, I say massive, this nanoscale Hogwarts, I think they're going to blow that up over the next 3 or 4 years and create a massive astronomy tower, Great Hall. So we're going to have this massive Hogwarts over the next couple of years. And I think Lego is just getting started. And don't forget, it's been like just over 10 years since the last film came out. It's in its early days of its own legacy. You know, there's so many fans out there. And, you know, I think where Harry Potter is where Star Wars was in the 90s. You know, it's just going to keep going on and on and on. And I think Lego Harry Potter is as strong as it's ever been. And it's just going to keep getting better.
I'd like them to do some more of the diorama type sets as well, because I think there's a market there. So I love those. That's why I like the Hogwarts Castle and Grounds. I haven't got the main castle, but I love that. You know what I mean? I've got the room for that. And I will buy that. You know, same as the Star Wars dioramas. They can take that further. I do think that's another little niche that I think Lego need to explore more of, because people have got more room for such sets as the dioramas. You know, they don't take up that much room on a shelf. And the way that they can pack that much detail, when you look at that Hogwarts Castle and Grounds, the detail on it, I think is just fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think that will be a popular set as well as the Gringotts.
Couldn't agree more. We've had the Hogwarts Express is a diorama set, because there's loads of quote tiles and so on, and they need to go into that sort of area. But next year we've got a record-breaking amount of sets coming out March the 1st. I think it's about 7 or 8. set coming out March the 1st. There is a rumor going around now that I'm not surprised because the league designer specializes in vehicles. It's going to be a standalone Ford Anglia, and there's going to be a smaller icon set. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the sorting hat. And well, we know next year one of the sets is going to be the Boro. So, and this year it's been even more expensive. The cheapest set was Dobby at £25, whereas the past few years it's always been the £17.99 sets, and a lot of them have been in the ranges of £50-60 and so on. It's just been a really expensive year, but I'm kind of glad at the same time. It's a bit like, my goodness, I've got to go through all these sets and spend all this amount of money. But I think when theme gets a little bit more expensive, or certainly there's more of the sets, I think that's a good sign.
That's a good point by KO. He says about that a lot of people never asked for the mine section. They just wanted Gringotts the bank. But I think having that mine is a fantastic addition to it. It really is.
Yeah, and I think people wanted it. The only thing is, as often one thinks one wants it, but one can't imagine how to display it because the mines are usually underneath a city, and one looks at the city that you have, and then you try to imagine where would I integrate the mines. I need to have another level now.
Based on the reviews I've seen over the past few days, and obviously from speaking with a lot of Lego fans in the community, there was two surprise. Well, sort of a surprise. Two surprises. There was the structural integrity, which obviously has been proven. It's very much stable. And secondly, apparently there's a number of reviewers surprised that it had vaults running underneath. It was always going to have vaults going underneath Gringotts, and it needs the vaults. The vaults is just as important as the actual bank, the building. Now, I would be disappointed if they didn't include the vaults because, well, firstly, Lego sets aren't always building on a base plate all the time. You know, we get a lot of them during the year. We have our modulars, and we've had sanctums and daily bugles and so on. The vault basically means that you can reenact the scenes from start to finish from Deathly Hallows, where they go into the bank, they end up down the vaults, and you can break out at the end with your dragon. You can complete the whole scene. Secondly, right, it just demonstrates the amazing concept that Lego has taken on by including a vault with a raised base plate. Now, I think there's only been one set that's actually had a raised base plate. So the actual concept and design is fantastic, and we wouldn't get that if we just had the bank. And also, what was the next thing I was going to say? You got so many display opportunities. You can display the bank on top of the vaults. You can separate it. You could then put your Gringotts with your Diagon Alley and just have the vaults to the side. So there's so many display possibilities by including those vaults. And from a Harry Potter point of view, the vaults is just as important as the bank. And,
I like. Sorry, Chris. Sorry.
That's right. Go ahead, mate.
No, I was just saying what I like is not having a lot of the Harry Potter sets myself personally. I look at that set from my own point of view as being a masterpiece that I could just display on its own. I don't need anything else around it. I can actually display that set, go out tomorrow and buy it, build it, and display it on its own. And it does look a gorgeous masterpiece of a set,
Absolutely.
You don't have to integrate it because I like the fact that you've got the mines. I like the fact you've got the bank. Obviously, it's better if you've got Diagon Alley and all that. But from my point of view, hasn't yet. I can just still display it on its own.
Yeah, absolutely. The vaults is so key to why this set is going to be right up there with Rivendell this year as being being the set of the year. It's a bit like the back cave. I know there's a number of people saying about why can't it be Wayne Manor on top of the underground. But that shadow box is just, the concept is brilliant. I just like how Lego have done something, taken something, made it look so unique and different. And I'm glad it's become how it was, shadow box. It's just,
I think it surprised you, didn't it, Nicole? Because you were a bit on the fence with it. I know you bought it, but you were still, until you built it, you said that it was such an experience to build it. It did surprise you.
I hadn't foreseen how detailed it would be. I thought that I would like it, because otherwise I wouldn't have bought it. But because I have play sets and I wanted something different as a bat cave. But I hadn't foreseen how detailed it is, how much depth it has, despite not being that deep. It really is amazing. Yeah. The only thing for Gringotts, I'm not. I'm wary about the price, because I have Diagon Alley, and Gringotts is almost, if not the same price as Diagon Alley. And for Diagon Alley, I got 4 buildings. And just based on the pictures, it looks like I get 1 building now and the vaults. And it does not look as much volume as 4 separate buildings. It feels strange, but I guess
you'll get an extra vault though with your GWP, won't you?
Right. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And maybe when you build it, it's more massive, and maybe then it will explain.
Some people suggested that maybe they should have separated the bank and the vaults, but I don't think the vaults would sell very well if they did that. It needs to be the whole thing. But Lego have done, and again, they've done, which I think they need to do, and that's attract a wider demographic, is to put Lego fans still in the position that they can go and buy their Gringotts. They can expand it with their Diagon Alley, and so on. But I just think the vaults is just, for the reasons I've already given, that it's absolutely brilliant. I just don't think the vaults would have sold very well if it was just separate. But yeah, and you technically get 2 buildings, with Gringotts. You get Magical Menagerie, which is just on the other side, which is just to the side of Gringotts. And that seems to be a bit of a remake to a very old Harry Potter set. I think it's one of the first Harry Potter sets, or if it's the first, where they basically had a Diagon Alley shop and it had cardboard background, and that was meant to be Magical Menagerie. So I like that. I like that building to the side. It's very small. It's very small, but it gives you that Diagon Alley feel that you've got a shop next to it. And because that shop's there, they've created this really cool, narrow, slightly scary looking, I won't say it's terrifying, but it's a little bit creepy, tight alleyway. But yeah, I think
different ways of displaying it with Diagon Alley. Like, you can have it in the middle with Diagon Alley coming at both sides. You can have it in the middle and it's horizontal completely. There's various, and I like the way that Lego have done that to allow you to incorporate it how you want to display it at the end of the day.
Yeah. I do think the best way to display it is when you've got the shops on either side. I've seen the length that you can go with it by having Gringotts in the middle. I'm not a big fan of that display setup. I like the feeling of the shops sort of facing each other. You can envisage, like it is in the film, you're walking down Diagon Alley, you're getting your wand, you're getting your owl, you're getting this, and you're heading towards the bank. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. I don't think it's going to stop there. I do think they're going to go into Nocturne Alley within the next year or 2. I wouldn't be surprised, because they've already made a reference of it in the Diagon Alley set. So I think they're going to keep on expanding that area. I think they might focus on that part of the Harry Potter world more than Hogwarts, because they've just finished a Hogwarts system. I wouldn't be surprised they start a new one. The reason why they got the green roofs, it's because it's a remake to the sets from 10-15 years ago. So they had the grey roof sets, then you had the green roof sets, which I absolutely love. And I think they'll go back to the grey roof sets. That's why I think this Hogwarts Castle and Grounds because Lego do provide little hints and clues as to what they're going to be making in the future. I wouldn't be surprised that they then make, they sort of get the Hogwarts Castle and Grounds and then just blow it up into a massive, big Hogwarts Castle and Grounds. Wouldn't be surprised, but I let my mind race.
Exciting times.
Absolutely, yeah. But it is good. But yeah.
What is the? I mean, they're obviously different. When you have the Diagon Alley's got that sweet shop, and then you've obviously got the standalone sweet shop. What is the sort of difference between them?
Sweet shop from the Diagon Alley set.
Yeah, because you can obviously get it as part of Diagon Alley, but then you can obviously get it as a standalone set itself.
You're about the purple one.
If that's what it is, yeah.
The purple and orange one, the Weezy Wiz, the one that yeah. So you can get a smaller one that came out June the 1st this year. I don't own that set. I've got no rush to get that set because I have got Weezy Wizard Wheezes. They've basically it seems like they're remaking Diagon Alley, so they're making it at a more of affordable price at a play scale size. So they're obviously doing Diagon Alley again. That's why I think.
Oh, so it's a better way of getting it in different sets and then combining them all. Right.
And I think that's great because not everyone can get Diagon Alley. So this is a good opportunity for people to start building Diagon Alley at a more affordable rate for them. And with the new Weezy Wizard Wheezes, it's great, by the way. You get some nice exclusive figures, which is not in the Diagon Alley set. It's purely based on half the prints. You get the owl post, which is
although that I don't like. It's kind of then it has a taste of I want more people to buy the same thing again.
Yeah.
And I would have preferred if the same figures of the Diagon Alley set would have been in the separate set as well, as a hint of a gesture of you don't have to buy the whole set if you only want one building, or you only if you prefer it for whatever reason, then buy just one set.
Yeah.
And not tricking someone into buying more sets that you already have.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I could agree. But I think they're over the next 3 or 4 years they're going to be remaking Diagon Alley. On the new Weezy Wizard Wheezes, it is signposted on the side 3 shops, which are obviously are strong clues what they're going to be making. Magical Menagerie was one, which is coming in the Gringotts set, and the other 2 shops is the Owl Emporium and Sugar Plums. So those shops we're expecting to be designed, sold to the public in the next year or so, and they're definitely remaking Diagon Alley. And do you know what? I'm actually quite pleased that they are, because one of my favorite sets is the Hogsmeade sets. I love Hogsmeade. I love the Shrieking Shack. And when I was building the Shrieking Shack last year, and I had my Hogsmeade, because Shrieking Shack is part of Hogsmeade Village, which is a village just down the road from Hogwarts. So when I was building the Shrieking Shack, I was like, I can't wait to expand my Hogsmeade village. And I was thinking at the time when I was building the Shrieking Shack that maybe Gringotts should have been this size. It doesn't have to be massive. It can, because if you just make the shops a little bit smaller, maybe you could have more shops, because there's still so many other shops they haven't done yet. You can name so many of them, but I understand, like, at this moment in time, like the Weezy Wizard Wheezes set that's come out, why not many people are in a rush to get it, because a lot of people have got Diagon Alley, but then again, a lot of people haven't. And I'm interested to see where it's going with that. But this year, just sort of feel, all the June the 1st sets and March the 1st sets, there has been a bit of we've had this before type of sets. Like we've had the Quidditch Trunk, which is even though I like the Quidditch Trunk, I think it's similar to the Magical Trunk set. You've got the 4 banners, which are so identical to the Hogwarts Moments books that can fold out into classrooms. You know, we've had Battle of Hogwarts, and you know, even though all the green roof expansions have to look fairly similar in some way for them to marry up once you've expanded them or connect them together, there is that feeling that the sets have. We've had these types of sets before, but we have to wait and see what Lego's got planned. I think about 3 or 4 years time, when they've continued to expand this new Diagon Alley, the play scale version, I think we'll all be very happy what they produce. I really do. It's like the anniversary sets. The anniversary, even though I sort of criticised the green roof sets, I feel like once you expand them all together, you can see that Lego had a plan, but they definitely cut corners. But yeah, we have to wait and see. So the new Weasley Wizard sets that is flanked with the Outpost is definitely a new remake to Diagon Alley.
Okay. Yeah, because when I met up with Bonnie and we went into the Lego store, I think it might have been in Battersea, we saw obviously Diagon Alley and then the Weasley shop as well. And I mean, even we were both sort of there looking at them and going, what's the difference? Why would you buy one over the other? Or like, it gets to the point, it's like, because you got two options, it's like, which would be the better one to buy? I don't know. I just won't buy either. So,
yeah, it's so strange that the timing is strange, because theoretically it would have been amazing if Diagon Alley would have been sold separately, so that you do not have to spend 400 something at once, but you can pick and choose which one when, and with enough time to really pace yourself. Or on the other hand, if you want to do it twice, Diagon Alley and then separate it, wait longer and don't have it both at the same time.
Yeah. I do prefer, like, obviously the Weasley Wizard Wheezes from the Diagon Alley is so much better in terms of size and so on, but actually the details inside the shop, I think the new Weasley Wizard Wheezes will give the bigger Weasley Wizard Wheezes a run for its money, because there's so many stickers and references to the products that they sell in the store. I can see people just buying it to then put those pieces in their big Weasley Wizard Wheezes, you know.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah.
They
I
could
bet
do
people
that.
have already done that. Yeah.
But if it's worth £85, but I know it's an Argos exclusive, so it's Lego and Argos, so I wouldn't be surprised if it does go down in price a little bit. So I'm most certainly not going to buy that at full retail, because I've already got the shops, part of my Diagon Alley, but I'll definitely be getting it at some point, because I'm a near I would say I'm a near completionist with Harry Potter. There are actually a couple of sets I do not like Harry Potter, and I'm happy to tell you, I'm not the biggest fan of brickheads. I think they're okay. I think they're pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of the Harry Potter brickheads. I think other brickheads I am, like Lord of the Rings brickheads, are cool, and the Sonic ones look great. And also, I'm not a big fan of the giant Hermione and Harry.
No,
I'm just not a big fan. They look fine. I just think I prefer if they like, you know, sort of characters that were like, not, organic is the right word, but not like humans. I like it if it was something like a C3PO or, you know, something like that. But that's the only ones I really dislike. But they're okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was surprised that not more came out. In addition to like Ron and Sirius and Severus and everyone.
Yeah, I suppose you can count. Well, I don't think Dobby is a direct expansion to that because of what he stands on.
Yeah.
But maybe Dobby could. But I'm surprised they haven't made a Ron or anything like that. I think they might come back to it. You know,
you see, Dobby got slated when he first come out. I actually like the set.
Yeah, it's not bad for the amount of bricks they put into it. It's not too bad. I'm still on the fence on that one, but I'm close to purchasing it. I think it's getting dropped to near £20. I think £20 for a Dobby set is it's not a bad.
I think it's off the top of my head. Again, it's like in the top 10 Amazon sellers, so it's selling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like,
Right.
we got just a couple of irregulars there in the chat. Hope that Kerry and Ollie, you're going well. Rick Skew, I feel like Dummy's rep seems to be better than in the lead up to its release. Is that meant to say Dobby or who's Donnie?
Probably.
Yeah, Dobby. I guess the other thing, because tomorrow you've got the designer for the Gringotts that is in at Leicester Square, which I'm gonna go try to see if I can get in there because I meet up with Fab Bricks Blondie, but the trains are all a mess, so that's going to prove challenging. But just as an aside, what do people think of like designer signing sets? Is it kind of just a gimmick, or is it, if you've got particular nostalgia value, or is it just not any value? Because they like to do them, and you can see some people really get into it, and I'm just kind of curious to see where other people think about it.
Yeah, not for me. I appreciate what they've done, most certainly for the set that I aim to buy later on. Appreciate that they've put all their their skill into designing what is a remarkable set. But for me, I don't think they haven't got a celebrity status. I'm not going to start traveling to all four corners of the kingdom or fly out of this country to go and see them or anything like that. No, it's not a major need of mine to meet them and so on. But in saying that, part of me, it depends. It depends on how long those designers stay with the sets that you're keen on. So I'm a big fan of Marcus Besser. I think he's a great designer, and because he designed the Hogwarts Express. He also designed the giant Disney castle just in front of me. And I think he's a wonderful designer. And I know maybe he had a bit of a backlash last year with the Hogwarts Express, and I felt quite bad for him because I know he had some really, really harsh comments thrown his way. I felt a bit sorry for him. And I actually, once or twice in my mind, I thought, do you know what, it might be nice to meet him. He seems like a decent person, and but in general, I just don't think they're interest me too much to go into to see them.
And I definitely I'm not really into signing normal sets. I see the value in it for special sets like the Everyone is Awesome. If I had the chance to easily meet Matthew, talk to him, and then during the occasion have it signed, I think it would be a special set for me, and I wouldn't want to build it just as a memory of having really met him. But I don't want every city set to be signed by the designer. What I definitely wouldn't do is buy a set that was signed by them, and I never have met them. Then I have no connection to it. Why would I buy a signed set instead of a normal set? Unless I really am the one who met him.
You'd have to you'd have to keep the box sealed, wouldn't you? If you have it signed.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if I was, the whole purpose to me of having something signed, whether it's a Lego set, an album cover, whatever, is to keep it pristine. Because if down the line you wish to sell that set and you put down that the designer signed it, then obviously it's going to be worth twice as much. If it's still sealed, signed, it's never been opened. You can't just put everything back in the box and say, well, the designer signed it. To me, that doesn't carry the weight. But I would like to meet a designer. If it was more local, I'd like to go and have a chat with a designer. But it's not make or break if I can't get a designer, design a set. Hi, Kerry.
I
How you doing?
I bet you're
I fell
excited, aren't you?
I am very excited. I fell asleep though earlier. That's why I'm late. I was actually on at 8:05 and I came home, fell asleep, had some dinner, and fell back to sleep again. So sorry. I think I'm just catching it from the weekend. I got my sets at Celebration signed by the Lego designers, and then I came home and I opened it and built it. Got the box down there somewhere.
Yeah.
Signed box. I'm not interested in it getting signed. I just want to go and talk to the designers.
I think if it was like you weren't going completely out your way. So if you was going to a Star Wars event and then you see all these Lego sets and then you see the designers, they're just like a few yards away. Then maybe, but if you're going like miles, so like if it wasn't for the train strikes, would I be still going to Birmingham Lego, my nearest Lego store, or would I be going all the way to London? No. I'm not going to London to get it signed. I'm just going to go straight.
I was going to London for all the Harry Potter stuff that goes on there, and to meet Fab Blondies.
Yeah.
I was going to London for there's all that loads of Lego displays at King's Cross and everything.
Honestly,
I was going there already on that day.
If I was going down to London tomorrow, I'd rather have Fab Blondie sign my Gringotts box. Then. Because I think she's brilliant.
She is. She's awesome, isn't she? So I'm gutted I missed that. I can't afford to spend £85 on a ticket though. It was already pushing it at 50. I mean, normally when I go to London, it's £30 a time, and that's like quite reasonable for a day out. But when it goes to 50, it's like, oh, it's okay. But then when it went to 80, it was like, no, I can't do that. Not for a day. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And also, as well, the train might then get cancelled and I can't get back. So I'm going to Sheffield instead. Never
You would
mind.
have to go to Fab Blondie, like you can't go back. You would have to crash with her at her hotel.
I don't think my boss would have been very happy. I have to be at work at 12 on Saturday.
Yeah, but isn't that what's the English term for höhere Gewalt? It's out of your it's like
out of your control.
Yeah, right.
It's not. They told me to get a bus.
No.
Yeah. I mean, when I told him my flight had been cancelled in Belfast, he went, well, you better find another flight or get on a boat. So we had to go to another airport and get another flight from there. So, yeah, Flybe abandoned us in Belfast.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you guys. Just want to jump in. We're starting to head into the third hour, and we just had both of our next couple of guests pop in. So first of all, bringing somebody in and known them for quite a number of years, and it used to be the sort of thing, if there was something that you didn't know about Ninjago, it probably wasn't worth knowing. And welcome to the stream, Titanium J. Good to see you. It's been
Hi, TJ. How are you?
Doing good.
Wow, this is an honor. I've watched so many streams with you on it. I'm actually on a stream with you on it.
Yeah. Can you sign my Gringotts?
Yeah, you can sign any set, Titanium.
Yeah.
Are you going to talk Star Wars today, though, TJ, instead of Ninjago?
Yeah. I mean, this
excellent.
This will be the only Ninjago that I show.
He's so cute.
Well worth it. Yeah.
Oh God, I'm still tired. I do apologise.
And so with that, we
Titanium
have
J's come on.
yeah. Cool. Have somebody else who's joining us again, and they're here in last week, and also joined on the weekend parent stream, and always it's great to have her in. Welcome along, Ambelia Builds. Good to have you in. How are you going?
I am
good.
Hey.
How are you?
I ducked out last week just as you came in.
So brilliant. I think we're getting up close to the 3 hour mark anyhow. So I think maybe we'll just start off. We'll get into the Ahsoka stuff. So for anybody else who's out there watching, this is going to be a recap of the episode which dropped yesterday. And so it's going to have spoilers and everything like that. So if you don't want to know or anything like that, now would be the time to head on out. And we appreciate you being here. But otherwise, yeah, we'll get into the episode 3 Ahsoka spoilers. And I think we'll just start off with a bit of a recap. And we had someone put their hand up for that to be able to do it. And that was Lady McBrick, Nicole. So do you want to give us a bit of just an overview of what the episode was about?
Right, I would love to. So, everyone, be warned. Now, spoiler alert. Because the last episode was episode 3. We are now into the 3rd episode. And we started with the end of episode 2, which was Lady Ren. Sabine was taken on by Ahsoka as her Padawan. She now is officially her Padawan. And during the episode, we mainly see Ahsoka, we see Sabine, and we see David Tennant. I have no idea how he is pronounced. Yuang.
Wayung. I can't remember.
Isn't it Huyang? Am I wrong?
Yeah,
Huyang.
it's Huyang. Yeah.
Huyang, right. They are the focus point of this episode number 3. We see Ahsoka and Sabine getting acquainted again. They find the rhythm. And it's really interesting to see the 3 of them interact with each other and getting to know each other again and finding each other again. As well, we see one that we haven't seen in a while. We see Mothma, and she's
Mon Mothma.
Mothma. Okay. And she's now a chancellor. I'm not really sure if I missed something, because when I saw her on Endor, she definitely wasn't chancellor. Now
she's just a chancellor.
Yeah. And someone we at least I newly met is Jason. He's Hera's son, and that's interesting for me. Totally where he came from, and the background of him will be very, very interesting.
Well, there was a bird and a bee, and they got together and they did the jiggy jiggy.
Okay, I never saw that during Rebels. I have to see and watch Rebels again.
It was in the last episode of Rebels.
But they only kissed on the last episode.
Yeah, well, it was Disney. They can't show anything else. You just have to imply that that's what happened.
Oh, okay. That was an intense kiss. I need to be careful now when I go out. Because, yeah. Anyway, episode 3. We are tracing down the hyperdrive, which was indicated at the end of episode 2, and are led to the Denab system. There we are on our own because we don't get any backup. And there is the hyperring that we are discovering, which led us to the final discovery of the star whales, which
space whales.
Space whales. Are they space whales? Not star whales?
Yeah.
Purgles, yeah.
Okay.
Purgles, yeah.
Yeah. And that will now lead us to the next episodes coming, because we discovered that there are intergalactic hyperlanes, which used to be used by these space whales. And now we can travel with this big hyper ring as well. And that's the end of episode 3.
All right, brilliant. No, thanks very much for that recap there, Nicole. Really appreciate that, just to sort of set the scene for the rest of it. I know I might just jump a little bit sideways. I think most people were on last week, so I might just jump over to TJ for a sec. I know he's in the chat last week commenting, and just to get a bit of a perspective, just really sort of high overview. What did you think of the first 2 sort of episodes and where things are at the moment, TJ?
Oh, I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I like the direction that it's going. You know, we talked a little bit last week about how the different actors have translated from, or the different characters rather, from the animation to live action. I kind of agreed with everybody that Hera kind of felt a little bit off, but overall they're doing well. And yeah, I really enjoyed the plot. I enjoyed the villains. It's all great.
Okay, brilliant. And from that, I think we'll start off down with Amber Lyre, and we'll go individually. Just quickly, your thoughts on episode 3, starting with Amber Lyre.
I mean, I really liked it. My daughter and I both, like, when it cuts to black, we're like, what? Like, we wanted more, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely wanted more. It felt very, this is gonna sound weird, felt very Star Wars, like there was a lot of like Star Wars stuff going on. There's something, I'll mention it later, but there is something that was pointed out to me in the beginning credit scenes that's a little fishy, but which made me feel a little uneasy. But otherwise, I really enjoyed it. It was great.
Okay, brilliant. And yeah, there's a few things there which you pick up on in terms of some of the scenes and things. Obviously, we'd seen very similar echoes within other bits of Star Wars. So just a question for other people at the back of your mind, is it just too much referencing it, or is it over the top, or is it just right, or whatever? Another question just to have in the back of your mind. But in the meantime, Trevor, what did you sort of think of the episode 3 and your impressions?
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I agree with Amber Lyre, especially with Ahsoka on the wing with the battle. It felt more Star Warsy, with the lightsabers and having a good space battle there. And in the beginning, there was one line that I need to highlight because I thought that's so meaningful. And it said, "Anger and power are quick to give power, but they also unbalance you." And I thought how true that is. That was a line that I'd picked up on there. But yeah, I like the way it's going. It left it on a cliffhanger. Obviously, they're going to have a battle now and find where they are. And but is it me, or that episode was the shortest one? It's got to have been.
Yeah, it was.
They are getting shorter.
Yes.
When you look through, and I'm thinking that wasn't even an hour.
No, it's
like you say, we wanted more. Where's the whole
quick
hour?
episode. So.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, especially going from.
I'm sure.
Oh, I was just gonna say, especially going from like the 2-episode premiere to like the shortest episode, you're just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly felt like sort of somewhat pre-warned that was only going to be about 30 minutes. So hopefully then that means that one of the other episodes are a bit longer. But I think, if it was for what was there on the screen for that 30 minutes, I thought the pacing and everything of it was quite good. But yeah, so anyhow, Brickapix, I'm not sure that you were on last week for the part of the Ahsoka.
I dropped
super
off.
quick.
I dropped off just as you started talking about it. So.
The
The first 2 weeks, I was in the chat, but I was shouting at the screen and you didn't see me because Chris. No, I loved it. I think it was amazing. I can't even remember what I was disagreeing with you about, but I was disagreeing with you about something in the chat.
Not enough killing of people, I think it was.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, what are you doing? They killed so many people when they first got there. What are you talking about?
Carrie, we wanted to get you back on, even from the bath. Like, if we really, really get her raging, then maybe she's from the bath.
No, this is the best Star Wars I've seen in a long time. We don't know where it's going. It's opened up a different universe. It's opened up a different galaxy. It can now go wherever. It can now start a new Star Wars in a different galaxy. So it's opening up more things. It can also connect like the three last films together, which is fine. But with the bringing in of the Witchers, it's just opening up. Not the bringing in, because they are in the Clone Wars, but it's bringing that aspect into it. It's bringing in different Force users, not just Jedis. And I'm very excited about it. Yeah.
Okay, great. And what did you think of this week's episode?
So I was going to talk about the actual opening as well. So did you notice, on the first episode that all the droids and things were red. And the second one they changed to red, which is normally bad, and blue. Some of the ones that you would think were red were blue, and some of the ones that you thought were blue would have been red. One of them's Sabine Wren. Her mask is red. And then Marek, his is blue. Don't know what that means. Hopefully we'll find out. Hopefully it does mean something and they're not just, feeding us. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it didn't even go red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. It went red, blue, 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 red, blue.
Yep.
So there wasn't even a pattern to it. So I'm very excited about that to see what happens. But I do think...
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, I do think that with the Witchers, it's always been the power of two. There's always been two Jedi. There's been a Padawan and there's been a Jedi. There's been a Sith and there's been his apprentice. With the Witchers, there's three. Now, at this moment in time, Sabine Wren's not a Jedi. She's a Padawan, but she's got no Force. She's not Force sensitive. There's that other Padawan who we don't think, who's turned around and said, "I'm no Jedi." And I think they're going to be the three Witches. I've just got a feeling. I don't know. We'll see. It's
Carrie.
Different things. I'm very excited about it.
You and I are going to have to chat about the theory, because it does have to do with the opening. It's a little different, but yeah, you and I have to chat that for sure.
I'm quite excited about that. Oh, I'm just reading into things.
We might circle back to that because there's certainly a few other things which popped up out of there. TJ, your thoughts on episode 3?
I really enjoyed episode 3. It was great. I think the space battle in particular, I love those enemy starfighters. Those were wonderful.
Great dogfight.
That's what Star Wars is all about. Yeah, that's what Star Wars is.
Yeah, it was great. It felt like, taking like that classic Star Wars feel, but then also combining the bit of the modern aspect with having Ahsoka out there in space fighting.
That was awesome.
It's like,
I love it.
It's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. Yeah, great episode.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent, brilliant. Lady McBrick, your thoughts on the episode, having now done the summary thoroughly?
I really, really liked it. I thought that it was pretty and it felt like Star Trek. The scene with Ashoka's ship dead in space, the glittering in space being dragged behind, it really felt, it had a Star Trek vibe to it. I
thought that about the first scene in the first episode, where they're like, number one, you have the con.
Right.
And he went, oh my God, this is Star Trek.
Yeah,
it was so funny. So it's too clean,
Yeah.
I'm seeing something out there. Oh, we'll bring him in. Yeah.
Right.
Whenever you see like ships, it's like the Millennium Falcon and stuff, and they're all, he's a dirty nerf herder, but they were like, that's the Admiralty.
Yeah.
And it was all clean and stuff and controlled, and it's like, this feels like Star Trek.
Yeah, right.
And then he shot everybody.
Right. Right. Yeah. And in general, what I really noticed was how much Ahsoka grew from the animated one in Clone Wars. You already saw it a bit in Rebels. And now it really felt in her own series, in her own show, how calm she is, that she really transitions to the state of mind of a Jedi Master, from being a rebellion and young and being all over the place and taking risks. And now she's calm. The scene where she sits at the table and calmly drags with the Force the cup to herself, she has a calmness to herself, a presence.
People online are complaining about that, aren't they? They're saying that that's not Ahsoka. It's like, yeah, but it's 20 years later. She should be that like that now. She's not that kid from Clone Wars, and she's not like the young adult that's a bit brash from. So, well, it's not 20 years; it's 10 years from Rebels, isn't it? Oh no, because she was in the Lost, wasn't she, for quite a few years? So it's quite a few years, yeah.
I was gonna comment on that because, like, we barely even see her in Rebels, to be honest. She's not in it that much. She's like at the end, I think, of season 1. And then by the end of season 2, she's, you know, in the world between worlds. So
I think people are just missing.
Yeah.
Just missing Ashley Eckstein, aren't they? That's why.
Yeah.
I hope she gets a little role. Hi, Is it Brandon? Hi, Brandon. Hello.
Good to see you. Yeah, that's another thing we can circle back to her sort of growth just before we get there. One Brick Stud, what was your sort of just general thoughts of episode 3?
Loved it.
More deaths.
Yeah, it should have been more deaths, but no, absolutely enjoyed it. The visuals are continuing to be awesome. I love a bit of a space battle. It felt like whether it's right to say, more of a George Lucas type of feel. You know, this episode ran about this point when it's like any series. My eyes tends to be locked on certain characters. I tend to focus more on certain characters, so I'm really focused on Sabine and Marek as the two. You know, I think there's so much potential to see the growth and the evolution of Sabine. She's coming across like sort of like, because obviously one thing I like is now with Star Wars, not everything is all about Jedi. You know, we're starting to see that anybody can be Force users, and obviously it depends on how Force sensitive people are. It's not like Anakin, who is like got so many midichlorians in him. You know, he is literally, you know, a beast. But it seems like Sabine is very low in terms of midichlorian count. Might make her weak at this stage. But I think from the back of my head, Obi-Wan Kenobi wasn't really that Force sensitive, but through discipline and training, he was able to become a Jedi Master. And I'm hoping that Sabine can then master her craft and be who she can be. So I'm looking forward to seeing where her character goes. So, you know, I am happy she's still alive. And I'm interested in seeing who Marek is. I do love a villain. I do love an antagonist. I like an antagonist who do antagonist things and not leave people half dead. You know, I like seeing people, antagonists, wiping out people out of existence just because that's reality. That's what people in our world would do. Not people leave people like half dead and so on. But yeah, this third episode was brilliant. I'm so looking forward to the next episode.
Yeah.
It's like a gradual build up. We're learning more and more about these characters. You know, it's teasing with us. It's not throwing everything our way and then we know everybody inside out. It's doing things gradually, you know. And this build up to Thrawn is, I'm absolutely buzzing. He's gonna have to appear at some point because I'm not too sure how many episodes are in the series, but I think the next episode or two we're gonna was that 8?
Wow.
8.
So we're getting
episode.
to the halfway point next week. So yeah.
I reckon we're going to have a see him in a flashback, or we're just going to see him in the last episode, to be fair, and he'll be part of the next season. I do think, because there's too much explaining to do before they get to him. I mean, that ship's not even built yet, so if it gets built next week, fair enough. Then he's not going to be next week. He'll be week after.
Yeah.
But it's just, I'm not even going to theorize as to who people are and what we're going to see. I'm just excited to just watch it this time because I just did so much theorizing over Mandalorian and I was just wrong. Totally wrong for every aspect.
But isn't it great that a series like Ahsoka and a series in general, now it carries out a steady progression. It keeps your mind circulating. I love the theorizing part of watching a series. I like my mind just to race and come up with all these ideas.
Yeah.
Like, Marek, who is he? You know, and you can have a bit of fun. You can play with theory and so on. Think, you know, is Marek going to be Ezra? I don't think
I hope not.
Marek be will Marek become somebody who then becomes a knight of Ren, you know, or is it going to be Star Killer?
No, it can't be started. It can't bring games into it. That'd be shocking.
Marek, here's one thing: Marek could be Marek.
Yeah.
Just because we can't see the person's face doesn't mean it's somebody we already know.
It could be Jar Jar Binks. That's another one. That
Could be Catherine Kennedy. You don't know.
Oh God, no.
So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, with that, I think the general consensus is that it was a strong episode. It's putting things in the right direction. Didn't sound like there's too much frustration or annoyance with the episodes. I thought pretty much echoing what a lot of people have said. You've obviously had the first two, which need to grab you and set that the stage as such. I think the third episode has been a bit more of a breather, a little bit, particularly with
It wasn't long enough.
Ahsoka doing some of those training and setting some threads off for the rest of the series. So I guess the thing which I'll open it up for questions or people to give their sorts of ideas. When you've got the hyperspace ring, it's obviously of something of a giant size. How do we think that that's going to play into this? Anyone got any sort of want to speculate?
It's going to take him to another galaxy, isn't it? So they're going to follow the. So like, have you watched the end credits where it basically does the path to the other galaxy? It's a bit. It's very it's very Game of Thronesy.
Yeah.
So with the other galaxy, when they get there, or the end one, it's got like a group of Purgle going around it. So clearly you get there via the Purgle path. So that's the path that's why they're on that planet, because that's where all the Purgle are accumulating before they zoom off. So I think that's how it's going to work.
So now, do you think we're going to go there, or do you think they're going to open it and Thrawn's going to come through?
I hope we go there and we see more Star Wars in a different galaxy. I really do. It's going to be awesome if it does that.
But how are we going to do that? Because my understanding is the ways can go there. And when you have this big hyper...
so they'll go with the hyper ring. Yeah. And the Jedi will go with the Purgle.
Okay.
I mean, Ezra went with the Purgle. There's this Force-sensitive Jedi that can talk to animals. We've seen that with, like... I'm hoping they don't bring Grogu into it, but he can talk to animals. So, I mean, Ahsoka's already met him. Can you just come and help us out in this series? Please don't do that. Just leave him in Mandalorian. But then she probably knows how to do that as well. We don't quite know what her skills are.
Now that you mention it, in the new Lego set with the Ahsoka ship, isn't there Mando included as well?
Oh God, no. Oh no.
Mando? No.
It's Sabine is in that set. She is a Mandalorian, but
okay. Because I thought from the suit that he wore, or that the Lego figure wore, it looked like the Mandalorian.
Oh wait, are you talking about the one with the E-wing that has the villains in it? Because it has Merrick in it.
Well, no, Merrick's in the shuttle.
I thought
Jedi
Merrick
shuttle.
was in the.
No, Merrick's in the Jedi shuttle with.
Was he in the Jedi shuttle?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It was one of the new ones.
Oh, because it's the pilot in the E-wing one.
Yeah.
With yeah. I don't know. I'm buying them all tomorrow. I'll find out tomorrow.
I am not buying any Star Wars Lego tomorrow. I am not buying. Well, let's have a look.
Yeah. But I'm curious with this hyperdrive ring. Maybe it's not necessarily to take anything there, but to bring something back. Because
that's
yeah.
That's what I was wondering too.
Yeah, like maybe it's the Thrawn Star Destroyer.
Yeah, I thought they were going to go there, and then I don't know.
Yeah, I thought maybe possibly they could go there, because then, as another sort of thing, as I think somebody else mentioned, then you can really open it up in terms of just Force sensitive people and different. It doesn't necessarily have to be Jedi. Also, too, it could be a nice way, depending upon how Disney want to view it, is sidestepping the sequel trilogy. Because you did have a line from Balin in one of the first two episodes, which also said, different galaxy and time, or something to that effect. So whether or not it then sort of is then able to, basically branch away from that sequel trilogy timeline, in which somebody else mentioned it in terms of it's great. The series is great because you don't know where it's going. So, I don't know. What are other people's thoughts?
So my thoughts there though are that they are building something to bring Thrawn here. I would love to go to the other galaxy, but I think the challenge there is what good is Thrawn and all of them if they're all in that galaxy, right?
Yeah, that's true.
There could be a chance that what's happening, and this is just for me playing way too many hours of like Mass Effect and stuff like that, is like maybe there is another ring that's being built on the other side, and that the idea is like
Stargate.
So yeah, well, okay, I've watched too much of that too. You know, kind of like I don't know if the idea is to be able to connect them in that way, because the issue is if it's here and they go there to the other galaxy, how do they bring Thrawn back?
Wait,
If that's how it works.
Does the ring not go with them? I thought the ring went with them. You know, on the actual
Does it?
ships, the ring goes.
I
the
think
ring goes
I think
with
so
them.
too. Yeah.
Is that how it works? The ring goes with them? It's not like
because
a thing they go
there's
through?
smaller hyperdrive rings, and those rings go with them.
Yeah, like in the prequels when the
Yeah.
Jedi starfighters would plug into those. It's kind of like that.
And then they just drop them off and leave them in space,
okay,
and then-
ignore me. I'm thinking of like the mass relays and stuff in Mass Effect and stuff where like they're just there and you travel through them. Yeah, if it's gonna go there, then yeah, we could travel there, and I can understand why it's so big, because they also would need to bring his whatever he's got back. So I mean, I do eventually think we're going to end up back in our galaxy, though.
Yeah.
It does bring, you brought up an interesting point there, in that if Thrawn is in the other galaxy and we're going there, how then does he become the threat? Is it a matter of he's got to be amassing an army or whatever else to come back here to be threatening? So
I thought there are so many allies still out there. Because when they were in the shipyard, and there are still these people who still would be willing to rally after the right person. I thought
which is Thrawn, yeah. Is somebody frozen? Is it me? Hello? Oh, I thought frozen. Sorry, I've got very bad Wi-Fi at the minute.
Yeah. I mean, I think he does. There are. I don't know that he's going to necessarily amass an army there or what have you. He could, but I mean, yes, there are. It's sort of like Game of Thrones-ish. They were saying like if Dany came, that like everybody would rally around her. I think there's a similar sentiment here, where if Thrawn came back, like Thrawn is the one that could unite all the scattered, loyalists to the
because
Empire.
he's a tactician, isn't he? So people will rally around him. He doesn't need to have gained an army over there. He might already be back. We don't know, do we? I'm assuming he's not. But it's just, why would he have not found another way to get back himself? He's this amazing tactician.
Well, if he doesn't have the resources and stuff there, I mean, if he's in some galaxy that doesn't, have all that stuff.
Plot twist: they come into a galaxy that's here and now, and Earth is there, and it turns into a.
That would be
what's
weird.
That old with Cylons? What's it called?
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah, that was strange. Oh, dear.
So if they are building this hyper space thing, and either they go there, they come here, or something like that, how do then the witches fit into all of this? Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
The Witches of Dathomir. So, I'm trying to think of the connection. So, there is a connection, because obviously Darth Maul's mother was a witch. She was a Dathomir witch. Darth Maul she was the Dathomir, yeah. Darth Maul tried to recruit Ezra. I haven't got. There's a connection somewhere. I don't know how.
I thought that Elspeth was a close ally to Thrawn.
Yeah, but how? We don't really get into that, do we? She wants to bring him back, but why does she want to bring him back?
Well, I mean, my assumption here is she's loyal. She was loyal to the Empire. She was like one of his close people in his whole thing. And when he disappeared and everything happened, she was, that those people that hide away until there's a chance to, come back when your leader comes back.
I don't know if there's an ulterior motive with her though, because she's one of the last witches. Is she trying to bring her own people back, or?
That's why.
Could it be that she's the Bellatrix of Voldemort?
Maybe, yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah,
but then they say that Thrawn wasn't ultimately bad. He wasn't working for the he was working for the Empire, but he didn't have the same goals as the Empire. He didn't like to kill people. He liked to keep people alive because he valued life. He was a tactician. Oh, it's just there's so many theories going on in my head.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever I hear the term Eye of Sion, so the Eye of Sion, just correct me if I'm wrong. The Eye of Sion is that hyperspace ring in space, that right?
Yeah.
I don't know whether I'm just letting my mind race with possible theory, but whenever I hear the term Sion, it reminds me of a villain that was in the Old Republic. One of my favorite games, and it might have nothing to do with Ahsoka, but one of my favorite computer games was Knights of the Old Republic. And as I recall, there was somebody called Darth Sion.
Yeah, there was. He was part of the that group. It was Sion, Nihilus, and Treya.
That's correct.
And Sion couldn't be killed was his whole thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. He was the one with he was bold, weren't he? He bold and he had like a funny eye or something.
Yeah.
So this is another link to this game, and I just don't want it to be linked to the game. Because Marok, you know what I mean? Starkiller, it's the game again.
Yeah,
I'm hoping it's not
but
true.
Like, but the game, okay, but the games are canon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they? Because I saw something, an interview during the week with Dave Filoni, and he's sort of, very much in the George Lucas vein, and he's sort of like, look, the films and the TV shows are canon, and then they've never really considered, what they now brand Legends as part of it. Well, what he does sometimes is as they're working through the series, they'll go, okay, if we need a character of a certain mold or something, does something already exist in Legends that we can bring across into it?
But that's Legends, right?
Yeah.
Like you said last week, though, there's truth in all Legends.
Well, I think
but Legends is like that. It's there are things. I'm sorry, TJ. What were you saying?
No, I think the Old Republic games and even like the Force Unleashed as well is all part of Legends continuity. Like Fallen Order and Survivor, those are canon.
Those.
Yeah, those are in the timeline. But the other games, I don't think are.
Oh, okay. Okay. So then that particular game is not in the timeline, isn't canon, but the newer ones are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic could be canon because they happened so long ago. It doesn't really matter. They could bring them into canon easily. But things like the Force Unleashed, it's a bit more iffy. I think those are definitely Legends. I mean, they could bring Starkiller in, or like a version of Starkiller if they wanted to. But
yeah,
so those games, as they were made, whenever they were made, aren't canon, I believe.
What if Merrick is Cal Kestis?
No, he's too small.
That'd be an interesting twist.
Yeah.
Okay. And for those of us who've got no idea, what does that mean?
He's the kid out of he's the ginger kid out of the game,
Fallen Order game. And Survivor. Yeah.
Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order, which I only know because he was at Star Wars Celebrations. And the boys talk about the game all the time.
Yeah, but he sounds then like a rather important character. Would he then take orders from a Padawan?
No, I don't think so.
I think whoever Marok turns out, if Marok turns out to be someone that we know, I think, the other villains will have had something to do with his transformation to evil, and that perhaps it wasn't a willing transformation. But I don't think it would be Cal Kestis, only because they probably have another game in the works for Cal Kestis. And
That's
they're kind of
true.
keeping that
That's
separate.
true. Yeah. They
We do hear his
probably
voice, though, don't we?
wanna-
We hear him speak, don't we?
Yeah.
It's a bit
Robotic.
distorted though. It's not an actual
Yeah,
voice
he's
voice,
got
is
like
it?
Yeah.
like the weird,
Yeah.
like kind of like Kylo Ren's mask, right? That distorts it a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah.
It might be a young Kylo. No, it's not a young Kylo Ren.
No.
No.
Where would Kylo Ren be? He'd be too young, wouldn't he?
So this
dunno.
is 10 years after Return of the Jedi. So it'd be 10.
Yeah.
It'd be
Pretty
8
young.
maybe. Yeah.
At his
Well, no, this is
his
like
oldest.
6 years after Return of the Jedi.
So it'd be 4.
Yeah.
So no, it's definitely
yeah.
not him.
No.
Yeah.
It's not that old. So, and then just sort of going back, I mean, we didn't see Balin much in this episode, but in the previous one, he seemed potentially a little bit conflicted. We had the line there where, it would be a shame to kill Ahsoka because there's so few Jedi left, and he seemed to be a little bit hesitant. And then in the episode 2, you also had Shin, and then just trying to think of the witch's name.
Morgan
Morgan.
Elspeth.
Yeah,
Morgana. Come on. A witch.
Yeah.
Morgana.
When she let the Ahsoka's ship get too close to the ring, and there was a bit of a jibe there, sort of like, I'm surprised you let us do this. Do you think that there's a bit of friction there between these, quasi Sith and the witches?
Yeah. I know what you mean, the tone of the voice. You failed, I'll now go get her. It was but it wasn't you just missed. It was just a weird tone. I can't place that character. She don't blink for one. It's weird. I've never seen her blink. She's very deadpan.
Yeah, and very big eyes.
Massive eyes. Of course, she don't blink. I think it's his daughter. That's one of my theories. I reckon it's his daughter. Yeah. I mean, she's. Otherwise, where did he find her? You know what I mean? Some random Padawan wandering around.
It'd be quite interesting to see, like, if Balin's obviously got some sort of mutual respect for Jedi.
Yeah.
And obviously he survived Order 66. So his master was obviously in the Clone Wars or around that time.
Well, he's of an age where he might have been a master at that time. But she's not old. She's too young to be a Padawan from that time.
Yeah.
So he wasn't a Padawan. He was definitely maybe not a Jedi Master, but a Jedi. Because these Jedi just keep popping out of everywhere, don't they? Never seen them anywhere, but you know what I mean. There's loads.
Isn't because obviously his lightsaber. Because I'm not sure if lightsabers. Because I know he's got a unique orange one. But wasn't there a Jedi by the name of Plo Koon or something like that?
Yeah, Plo Koon. But he didn't. He didn't have an orange lightsaber.
I think in Legends he had like a yellow one, maybe. But I don't think that's ever. Yeah, in Legends he might have, but not in canon. He's only ever had blue.
Yeah, he's an alien as well. I can't remember what he is, so it's not him.
But I thought I saw somewhere, and maybe this is just making it up, that Plo Koon was actually Balin's master, and there might be a connection there. Because then, if Plo Koon found Ahsoka, so there could be a sort of like a bit of a link back that way.
That's what I think. Yeah, that's why I think there's a connection.
That'd be a good link.
Yeah.
So,
but he's definitely gone rogue if he was a Jedi.
Yeah.
Because this is what it's all about, isn't it? It's about the Jedi's not necessarily being the good against the evil. I mean, Ahsoka's always said that she left the Jedi Order because she realised that they're not who they think they are, and that's why she left in the end. She became disillusioned. Grogu's done the same thing. So, I mean, Sabine Wren's training to be a Padawan, but not a Padawan Jedi because she's not being trained by a Jedi, technically. So, it's
Disney
just
didn't like that.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
It wasn't me, I swear.
But it's just interesting how we've all been like, oh, the Jedi's are good and the Empire is bad, but now we're learning that that's not necessarily true through disillusioned Jedi's and stuff. It's just.
I was going to say I absolutely came to that conclusion watching Clone Wars.
See, I've not seen Clone Wars.
Because, like, I mean, not to spoil anything, but like the whole time I'm watching Clone Wars, I'm like, the Jedi are screwed.
Yeah.
Like they're like there's no. I mean, not even knowing how it ends. If you didn't know how it ends, as you're watching this, it's super obvious that if they don't make like a huge change, that there's no way. And
they're very stuck in their old ways.
Oh yeah, I mean, for goodness sakes, Palpatine's right under their nose, and they are so closed off to, honestly, a huge part of the Force that they don't even realize he's there. And just the way that he, oh my gosh, he is masterful. Yeah. There is so much respect for Palpatine when you watch that show, because he just has them. Even when you think, oh, we got him. No, he knew you were going to do that, and he still has you.
He still has it. And that's the weird thing. Towards the end of Clone Wars, when just as before Darth Maul and Ahsoka are about to fight, and Darth Maul almost convinces Ahsoka that, all this stuff is wrong. And then once he says, oh, then who is this person? And it's like Anakin. And then it's like, no, that can't be. It's one of those things where, it went so close, and you're at that point, you're almost cheering for Darth Maul to be able to get through and say, hey, this is what the truth is, but you know what happens otherwise. Yeah. But coming back to this episode, is the Senate really dumb, or is this just a story point? Because it's sort of like, oh, Thrawn might be out there, you've always been dumb on these other things. Should we go find him? No.
The Senate are doing a Jedi, aren't they? No, don't be silly. We would know.
Okay, so I think there's a couple things at play, because I know people have been complaining about like how dumb they're making the Republic, right? In all fairness, the Republic kind of loses it. They lose again. Let's be honest. Like we know that's going to happen. So obviously there have to be some flaws and things in what they're doing. And I think there's a couple things here. Number one, I think that there is a huge and I want to say this happened like for the US after like World War I, where you definitely just you've been in this huge war. You want to do whatever it takes to like put your head in the sand, to not, you're busy building your stuff up. And unless you see like a really direct threat to you, like nobody wants war anymore. They've gone from the Clone Wars to the Empire with the Rebellion. Yeah. And it's very easy to just want like, hey, we beat them, we won, we're here, unless there's a really, really credible threat. The other thing that they mention is they have people who are loyal to the Empire all throughout different places.
Working for them.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of those senators is, loyal to the Empire, and of course is going to sow seeds of doubt about anything like that. I think they've got a lot of things playing against them in that sense.
Definitely the one on the left. He was dodgy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, there was the one senator who was kind of argumentative with Hera. That was actually a bit of an Easter egg, because the son of that character ended up being some sort of high-ranking officer in Star Wars Resistance. So I don't think that particular senator will be like a traitor working for the Empire. I think it's unlikely. More likely, it's just it's just his viewpoint, his opinion.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a nice misdirect. It's sort of like you make this person out to be, the one who you think would be the problem or whatever else, but no, for whatever reason, they were trying to be more pragmatic, and it turns out to be one of the ones on the left. So, and text sort of popped up here, and he said, what is it? The son is the main character in Resistance. So, I think we sort of call it that. the other thing I just want to circle back around to is we sort of mentioned how it felt very Star Warsy, and you had very much like the training session between Ahsoka and that, very episode 4 with Luke, and then even when you had sort of the actual space battle there with the way that I got one, very again episode 4. Do we sort of like that callback in terms of it is very much in the old vein, or is it just too over the top in that it's like, oh yes, this is almost shot for shot type thing?
I get overexcited when things like that happen. It's like, oh yeah, because that's original Star Wars to me. So I love it, but that's probably my age. The kids are going to be like, oh, they're trying to copy the old ones, but I love that when it happens. So I think this is why I also really, really, really enjoyed The Force Awakens, because it was just like a remake of A New Hope, basically.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Anybody else?
I did kind of like that callback because it called back to like the Jedi teachings and all that, which Ahsoka would have been exposed to, Obi-Wan would have been exposed to, but then this scene kind of put a different spin on it because unlike Luke, who kind of got it after a couple tries, Sabine didn't really quite get it yet, and I have been liking that overall, kind of the exploration of training someone who isn't very powerful in the Force. Yeah.
Well, one thing that I really got out of that particular scene is that Sabine, she gets in like her, I don't know what they're called, but the little pod for shooting things. And I noticed that Ahsoka kind of there's like a little bit of a change in their relationship. She's like, "What do you need from me?"
Yeah.
Right. In order for her to get the shot, they're working like really well together. You start to kind of see what that relationship must have been like during that time. And again, when she's letting Sabine kind of call the shots a little bit about like, what do you need me to do for you to get the shot and things like that. I really liked that. I liked going from that where, they're doing the with the helmet and with the stick back and forth to that. I think it speaks to a really, I think, strong relationship that's going to grow there, and that has, will ideally, I guess, help Sabine unlock. I don't want her to be like a Jedi,
and maybe that's
but a little.
Yeah, maybe that's the future then. Maybe it was a journey that was shown in one episode of I show you my way. Then the conversation of I don't want her to be a Jedi. I want her to be her, and then to tell her, okay, tell me what you need, and we will do both. And you are the lead, because I don't want to put you in a form and make you something that you are not.
Yeah.
Well, I think the key part in that was you had Hugh Yang. He turned around and he said, "Oh, if you two don't, if you keep going like this, there's not going to be a later." And I think that sort of then made Ahsoka sort of really click and go, "Okay, right, change attack. Let's, what do you need from me? Like, how can we?" And I thought that was a nice, as was sort of hinted there, sort of growth in that and showing that dynamic with that relationship becoming sort of less master apprentice and more, a mutual benefit as such.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain to me from that scene something that he said that I didn't understand? He said Anakin wasn't supposed to be accepted by the council to be a Jedi. Sabine wouldn't have been accepted, so she fits right in. And it sounded like a trio. Like, okay, Anakin wasn't accepted by the council. Sabine, Ahsoka wasn't, because from what I remember, somewhere it was shown that she was very gifted right from very, very small. Why?
In terms of what there is, the phrasing of it, that wasn't a traditional Jedi, in terms of you're very rigid and dogmatic and things like that, which, for Anakin, it meant that he was, and this gets back to the line which Ahsoka also says, I think it was, where frustration and rage or anger can make you very powerful, but then it puts you off balance, which is what Anakin, he was able to become very powerful in that. And his strategies, which were shown a lot during the Clone Wars and things like that, were not traditional, but they're effective. And then if you look at it, Qui-Gon, from the original or the prequel, I think there was the line, was it from Obi-Wan, who said, Master, if you just fall in line, you'd be on the council, basically.
Yeah.
So he wasn't necessarily that. So I think you've got, in terms of their sort of saying, and then when it comes down to Sabine, then it's sort of like, well, your previous, hierarchy from your leaders have always been the non-traditional. And, if she's going to approach this from being a Mandalorian with skill and then somehow develop the Force sensitivity, she's probably going to go there. But then Hai-Yang again sort of said, well no. Ahsoka responded to Hai-Yang going, I don't need her to be a Jedi, I just need her to be herself, sort of thing. So I don't think she has the end goal of the traditional, you're going to be a Jedi as in the Jedi Temple type sort of thing. Going to make you the best version of you as such.
Also, as well, if you look at it with the Jedi, so basically the Jedi have been pretty much wiped out. But if you track the line of Jedi, it's the non-traditional Jedi that are still left. It's that same line. Ahsoka was Anakin's, and Anakin, and Obi-Wan was the one that survived. Luke came from that. He then trained Grogu. It's like that line is the only line that's left. As opposed to all they all like Padawans. They've all been.
And that line is
Ken
also
and Jarrus was still there.
Apart from Yoda, like that line is the only one to have Force ghosts in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a powerful line, so it kind of works.
Right.
I mean, Huyang's Huyang. What's he called again?
No, you got
Huyang. He's obviously a droid, and he operates through programming, and he's saying this is how you should do it, and they're saying no, we're not doing it like that, we're doing it like this, and he's like, oh well, it works. But yeah, I love him, by the way. David Tennant's awesome.
Yeah. Does Huyang? I was thinking about it. Because of the way that he sits, obviously, the whole history and whatever through the Jedi archives, he's great from a story point, because anytime the writers sort of get themselves into a corner and just go, oh, he knows this or whatever.
He's the Oracle, yeah.
Is he also, too, just this generation's version of the comic relief in terms of droids? Obviously, the previous
they always have to have a droid.
generation, you had R2-D2.
No, this generation's got Chopper.
So, I mean...
Yeah, this generation's got Chopper, so I don't know. I hope we see more of Chopper.
Yeah,
but
more
he's
Chopper.
he's like K2SO and what's she called? The one that the droid from the Kessel Run droid. Oh, what's she called? The one that Phasma's character played. He's that one. So it's not the comic relief. I think it's the annoying sidekick. C-3PO, not R2-D2. Yeah.
Okay.
So R2.
Although you could have it there, that mirror again. You've got.
Yeah, Chopper's R2-D2 basically.
Huyang is C-3PO, and then Chopper is R2-D2.
Yeah, exactly. There's always been two.
I'm hoping Huyang and Chopper get to share a scene.
Oh,
get to have some sort of.
Oh my gosh! Together. Please!
Chopper will get jealous and kick him out of a star door or something.
Oh, I just have to put out there. I saw this video on like they were talking about of course, what a war criminal Chopper is, but they're just like the way they cut it together.
Yeah,
you're just
I saw that video.
Oh,
right from the beginning where he tries to kill Ezra.
Yes. Yeah. Which is funny because the narrator's like, well, this is a cartoon, so you don't take it that seriously. But if this was live action, this is attempted murder. And I'm like,
we really like this droid. He's great. I don't like him. Kicks him out of a star door.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sorry. I still am a huge fan of Chopper. Yeah. No matter what.
It's a bit like bringing it back to Game of Thrones where we all love Jaime Lannister. Then it's like, yeah, but he kicked a child out of a door right at the beginning. You need to remember that.
Yes.
Threatened to boot a baby over a wall. But we love him. It's okay.
You'll have praised Chopper. I mean, you know, if you look at the start, so when like the sequel trilogy came out, you got Kylo Ren. It's huge steps to follow in terms of like Darth Vader, but then you've got like the original droids like C-3PO and R2-D2, and I think Chopper is doing such a fantastic job. It's sort of like taken over being the number one droid. I think he's brilliant.
He's doing what BB-8 never did.
Yeah, that's the way one. Yeah,
so much. There is. And just one other thing about Chopper, because everybody, you know, a lot of times people are like, oh, what is it about Chopper? You know, when I want to be careful about spoilers, but somebody is lost in Rebels, and the way he reacts to it is where like my love and admiration for him come in. And I saw somewhere, I don't know, I can't verify this quote, but Dave Filoni had supposedly at some point said, like, if R2-D2 is like the family dog, then Chopper's the family cat.
Oh God, yeah, he is. He's a cat. Yeah, he's elusive. He wants love on his term. He's like my cat. That's why I like him.
Just before we sort of start to wrap this up, is there anything else with the show which people wanted to talk about or query that we sort of haven't mentioned and maybe should touch upon?
Well, is anybody since Ahsoka started? Has anybody gone back to the Mandalorian episode where you see Lady Morgan and Ahsoka? I just wondered if anybody still sort of like just to refresh their mind on what happened in that episode and how that episode could influence our outlook when we watch this series.
I was going to say my daughter and I literally watched all the episodes of Mandalorian that Ahsoka was in, like right before the premiere.
Yeah.
I was watching Rebels before the premiere.
Is there any?
Mind you, we just finished Rebels before it too. So then we hit up those episodes and we just barely made it in time.
Is there anything from that episode that has sort of altered your perspective on how this series is going to go? Is there anything now? Because I think that that episode of Mandalorian is it's a little bit more prestigious. So is there anything from that episode you think, Joe, what it's changed my outlook?
Just reminded me who the heck Morgan Elsbeth was. That was all I got from it, honestly.
Or where this series could end up going, which might have provided. Well, from that episode for Mandalorian, is there anything that you think what's happened in that episode? Can you see something that might happen in Ahsoka? That because obviously that is the episode for Mandalorian after. Is it later on in the future, or is it?
No, that's before, because she says, "Where is Admiral Thrawn?" She captures her then, and this is a continuation of it.
Yeah, it like picks up basically from there.
Yeah. Oh. I'm trying to think of what it is, but no, that's when she captures her.
I did want to go
That's
back.
why she's. Yeah, that's why she's in the ship in the first place, because Ahsoka's caught her as a war criminal.
Oh,
Because she was being mean to all the villagers. But I can't remember why she was being mean to him. Why she was there at that village.
Yeah, I did want to go back and watch that episode again, because the one thing which
I need to
want to double check was if she's such a powerful witch and everything else like that, how did Ahsoka capture her so easily? Like that's sometimes
power of 3. There's only one. I'm loving this power of 3. There should be 3, and there isn't. There's only one. It should be more powerful when there's 2 more. I'm sure of it.
They don't show it, but Ahsoka obviously faces off with her and defeats her. Also, one thing I would say is while her ancestry is with the Night Sisters, I don't know that she's that powerful. She obviously does come from that, but I mean, she hasn't done anything to show her being that powerful other than being able to interact with that like artifact.
Yeah, I guess maybe it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds. I guess the first 2 episodes, when they certainly used all those ancient relics and things, they sort of set the scene with that having an importance within the story. So it just seems if you did have, all those ancient grounds, and then she's a witch in it, and then it's sort of like, well, it has no impact on it. It's like, okay, that's
my
because the witches are force
understanding-
wielders, aren't they? She's not a force wielder. Is she?
Well,
no, she's not, is she?
Well, don't they have to wield the force somewhat to be a witch?
From my understanding, it's a different way of wielding the force.
We haven't seen her wield the force, though, have we? Apart from opening it. No, she didn't even open the star maps are being rendered.
Well, but no, she did the little glowy green thing.
Did she?
When it was in the thing, she did the glowy thing and made it come up.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
So my understanding was the point. I think the reason for the witches in general was for there to be a way for Thrawn via space and time, right, to be able to contact somebody and say where he is. So my understanding was it is maybe her witchy Night Sister ancestry that allowed Thrawn, who was calling to her, to be able to communicate. I don't know that it has any larger significance than that. It could.
Because it was in the first episode where, or the second episode, you had Balin and that, and they got to the ancient ground or whatever, and they couldn't open the map, and they needed Morgan to come along and do the big green light show, where they're all standing there being amazed. Just trying to think of it. Yeah. Anyhow, I think Tech's come up with a comment there.
Yeah.
What's he said? I think she harnesses magic rather than the force, but I'm sure there are crossovers and links. It'd be interesting to see what those are there. So I think with that, maybe what we'll do then is just quickly go around to each person, give her a rating out of 10 for the episode, and maybe TJ and Brickapix also give us a rating out of 10 for the first 2 episodes, and then anything that either prediction or what you might like to see coming up in episode 4 or in the future episodes. So maybe starting off with One Brick Stud, what score out of 10, and what prediction or
score out of 10? 9. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to episode 4 more than I did with episode 3. Felt like a classic episode. Like I said, I'm focusing more on Sabine and Marek and so on. But I think it's one of those series where every character is going to have a tasty background, and I think it's all going to come together. We just need the series. We need to have a bit more patience with the series and just allow the series to happen. And I'm just really excited. I just like the feeling that everything's just bubbling slightly, and I'm hoping for, like I always say, I want it to be a little bit dark. I want it to really bring out so many different cultures that can use the force, and I think this series could be probably potentially the best one since the sequel trilogy. I think it's got the potential to overshadow Mandalorian.
Yeah. Okay, then. Brilliant. And also to anyone in the chat there, if you want to give it a score out of 10 as well, and if you want to make any predictions or what you like, then go for it as well. And Lady McBrick, a score out of 10, and what you prediction or what you'd like to see.
I would give it an 8. It's really good. I love it. The only thing is I have a feeling starting in my gut that Thrawn will really just appear at the last episode, because we are not really making progress here. We just made a space jump and one fight. For a big storyline, and we only have 5 episodes left, there is not much progress been made in the last episode. So if we do not really pick up the pace, it could be an introduction first season, and then second season really brings up the real story that we are looking for. But I love the episode. There is a lot of depth brought to the picture, and that's important too. So maybe season 1 is just introduction to characters and introducing storyline for the second season.
Okay, brilliant. I mean, the thing I will say is in terms of pacing, and it's something he spoke about when Tech was doing his series, and the last Mando season, where he sort of thought initially that the whole season would be just about him getting redeemed, but within the first episode or two, he was then redeemed and then could move on. So fingers crossed, hopefully, we get another episode or two down and then Thrawn appears. I think that would be a nice sort of way. And it sounds like most people would probably want that. They don't want him to be the big bad revealed right at the end of episode 8. So anyhow, we shall see.
But it could be as well. It depends on how many seasons we are looking out for. If it's just a 2-3 seasons Ahsoka, then it would be a shame. But if there is a longer run, then it really is nice to have a depth of character building. And it's amazing if someone then just can take a whole season just to bring out the characters and building characters and relationships.
Yeah, it's being a streaming platform, they don't release too many numbers, but what they did release was that something like 14 million people had watched the first 2 episodes, which was their best performing show in like a very long time. So I would imagine we're going to be seeing a number of seasons. Hopefully they learn from Mandalorian and they don't make like the first 2 seasons really good and then they sort of start weakening it because of what other factors. But fingers crossed that we get to see a few more. So
Question.
Tech's just given a yep.
Is there going to be a second season?
Yeah.
I mean,
Still will be.
because I don't know if they greenlit it for a second season. I don't know. Because my understanding is that I think the next season of Mandalorian, as well as this show, are supposed to lead into the movie. So I don't know if, I don't know what season 2 would look like. Would season 2 be after the movie? Would season 2, that's what I'm curious about in that front.
I got a feeling that they won't crowbar. I got a feeling that they won't crowbar season 2. I think that they'll only write it if they feel the need to. It's like these episodes, like you've noticed with episodes, some of them are like 45, 50 minutes long, and the next episode's 30 minutes. I only think that episodes will last as long as they feel it needs to be. And, if there's just one season, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think they are handling Star Wars with such due care, because it's such a massive sort of it's a worldwide phenomenon, isn't it, really? So I think
the fans will jump on them if they don't get it right.
So I don't think we're going to know about a second season until after the first series, and then just see how they're going to map things out. Well, I know everything's all leading to the movie, but I don't want them to write a second season because they feel like they have to. You never know, they might tick all their boxes with just this one season, but I'll be a bit surprised if they didn't do a second season. We've had second seasons of, Mandalorian. I think there might be one for one Kenobi as well.
We're not going to get anything at the minute because of the writer's strike, to be fair. So
well, yeah. Season 2 of Ahsoka could be in 10 years.
Unless they start using artificial intelligence and they just okay, look at the Star Wars galaxy universe that we already have. Go.
Yeah. Okay, and I think just so we move along. TJ, score out of 10, and what you would like to see coming up.
So first 2 episodes, 8 out of 10. This episode, 9 out of 10. What I'd like to see is I'd like to see more about Balin's motivation? Because I feel like, we know he's working with Morgan, but we haven't really explored yet what he really wants, and I'm interested to see what that is.
Yeah, no, that's a really good call. Very similar. I want to see where his character goes. I have a funny feeling that he's going to be really conflicted and become a key point. And obviously, we know as an actor, he's sort of past. So I think they wouldn't be right at the end to write him in a heroic sort of way without jumping too many gaps. So. All right, cool. And moving along, Amber Lyer, score out of 10, and sort of what you'd like to see next.
Out of 10, I'm going to give this episode a 9, just because it really felt Star Wars. It just really did. So I loved that part about it. As far as what we're going to get out of it, you had sort of brought up the fact that the actor has passed. I'm a little concerned because obviously he passed after the show was done and completed. So I am concerned to see where he might have left off and things like that. I really do hope that, just by chance, his story kind of got finished before that happened. We'll kind of see how that goes. But in regards to what I'd like to see, I mean, I'll be honest, I want Ezra back. I really do. I just as a fan, there's this part of me, I want Ezra back. And I know Thrawn and all that other stuff, but I really want to know what happened to Ezra. And I want Ezra back. And I want Ezra and Sabine and Hera to be the family again. That is what I want. Whether that's good writing or not, I have no idea. The one other thing I did want to bring up is that I am warming up to the actress who plays Hera with this episode. She definitely is feeling before I was like, I'm not really sure, but I think she's getting her groove there, and I'm really appreciating that.
I think I know. I get a feeling why I what I struggle with. I think that the makeup is off with her. Because when I look at Ahsoka, it looks like makeup. Ahsoka kind of looks like, okay, that could have been her skin. With Hera, it looks like she just came out of makeup. It's
fair.
She looks like she's out of Wicked, doesn't she?
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting because I know there's been a lot of people who really disliked the act or her acting and what's been happening so far. I actually think, personally, I found it quite interesting. I've really enjoyed her being on the screen there and to see where she goes and everything. But I guess each to their own as such. And moving along, Kerry, previous episodes, a score out of 10, and then this one out of 10, and what you'd like to see next.
So in the chats, I gave it a 10. I'd give it a 9. I really enjoyed last week and the week before. The last week's, it was amazing. It was just, to me, it was perfect Star Wars, and this one was as well. So I'll give this one a 9, just because it's not perfect. And what I want to see is Force Ghost Anakin. Why not? He was a Force Ghost at the end of Return of the Jedi. They changed him.
Oh.
So why not? I mean, we've already seen flashbacks with him, and I'm 99% positive that those flashbacks that we've seen they're of Aiden now, not of when he was. They're not cartoon flashbacks. So they've used him in the one of the scenes. So I don't want to just see flashbacks. I want to see Force Ghost Anakin giving us some advice.
That, oh my gosh, okay, this is gonna sound crazy. I got chills when you said that, because first off, I said before, Clone Wars made me fall in love with Anakin. Yeah. I absolutely fell in love with him in Clone Wars, and I was sort of heartbroken about the fact that she doesn't exist for him in the movies, right? Ahsoka, and so giving us that would probably I would be bawling my eyes out.
I mean, we've just had him in Obi-Wan, This is at the end of Return of the Jedi. He's been redeemed. He saw his son. You know, was there a little thing where we saw Ahsoka? Was in Clone Wars? Did she not go to Padme's funeral as well?
That was in Tales of the Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah, that was in Tales of the Jedi. So she was there, so basically supporting Anakin and Padme. So she knew that. So I mean, she was very, very, very close to him. Like even when, you know, I just think that I just hope they do that. I hope they do it. And we've had Force Ghosts. We were expecting. We got Qui-Gon in the end, didn't we?
Yeah.
I've been waiting for you. We need a Force Ghost Anakin. Not on the last scene as well. Somewhere in the middle, giving her advice. When, you know, Sabine's kicked off again at her at some point, and he's going to come back and say, "Remember how you were with me? You were a little shit." Yeah, it would just be amazing if he did that.
No, it's. I think much like Amber Lyon's response, I hadn't thought of it, and now that you've said it, it's like, really do want it, and it would make complete sense within the context of it.
Yeah, and Rex. I want Rex to come back. I think Rex is coming back though, isn't it? That's been leaked.
Yeah, I've heard something about that.
Yeah.
That's something to think about. And then I guess the episodes now are going to be watching. It's like, are we going to see Anakin Force Ghost now? Oh,
yeah. I'm very excited. It just needs to happen.
Be all your fault.
Well, Ahsoka's got to be at a low point. She's got to be at a low point. So the first low point, I'm going to be like, oh, where's Anakin?
The only thing is she has to want to see him. I mean, obviously, Obi-Wan was just like, "Where are you, Master? Where are you? Oh my God, why aren't you showing me?" We've not seen that. And then he finally got there and said, "Are you ready?" So he's not just going to pop up and go, "Hello." Although, to be fair, Yoda did. So, you know, there's precedent.
Well, and with my daughter's favorite movie being the what is it? The Rise of Skywalker. I mean, he just shows up too. Luke.
He did.
She wasn't looking for it. So
yeah.
But yeah, I just want to see Force Ghost Anakin. Yeah.
If not, we should have a petition for it. Force Ghost Anakin.
Yeah, they could do it after the fact.
Hi, hello there. Right. If we don't opt off now, I need to kind of go because I've got to be up early. So.
Yeah, I was just about to sort of wrap it up. So for me, on the first watch of the episode, I would have given it an 8, but then I went back and watched it again and just had a bit of time to think about it, and then saw, I guess, more of the subtlety of, you know, the way Ahsoka was with Sabine and things like that. So I'd probably move it up to more of an 8.5. Really enjoyed it.
9.
Liked the callback. And yeah, there's lots of threads, lots of different ways it can go. And it just felt like, okay, yes, it was a short episode, but for what was on screen, it felt like they gave it enough time to breathe. And so I guess, yeah, moving on from that, I think we'll just sort of wrap up with what people's coming up on their socials and everything like that. Kerry, it sounded like you need to get off. So if you just want to give us a quick little rundown of what's coming up with you.
Okay, so tomorrow I'll be buying lots of Lego, of course. Then on tomorrow evening, I will be on London Calling. It's going to be exciting, apparently. It'll be all about Harry Potter, I'm assuming. I'm not going to London now. I'm very devastated about that. I will be streaming on Monday or Tuesday next week. I haven't decided which one yet. And then next week, on Thursday, I'm going to Billund. So I'll be in Legoland. Yeah. So that's going to be my week. Can't wait.
Brilliant. No,
I've also got a lug meet on Sunday as well. Yeah, I've got a lug meet, so I've got to make something for the lug meet as well, involving one of these.
Ooh.
Brick separator. Interesting. I'll have to do that tomorrow.
Been a challenge which has been set up there. So okay, brilliant. It was great to have you pop in, and give us a bit of a rundown on some of your thoughts on the Star Wars and Ahsoka as well. Appreciate that. And then, yeah, the Force Ghost Anakin, your major contribution. So-
Yeah, definitely. It needs to happen. I'll be very, very upset if it doesn't happen now.
Yes, yes, yes. I need it. now.
Yes,
Yep.
needed to. So, all right, brilliant. And yeah, if hope you, because we probably won't see you beforehand. Have a great time in Billund, and
Yes.
enjoy
Yes.
that. So
I'm going to buy lots of pirates and sell them. Try to make some money back.
pay for the airfare. So
Yeah.
Amber Lyer, moving along to you, sort of what's coming up on your socials, and always appreciate that you make your time for lunch hour to join us.
Yes, yes. So I actually took tomorrow off of work, and I'm going to be going to the Lego store and buying a bunch of Lego as well. And when I get home, I'm actually going to be streaming. I'm going to have a pretty long stream. I think what I'm building might change up a little bit. We'll see. But I've also I have some guests who are going to pop on Twitch with me, so that's where I'll be streaming there. And then on my regular streams are Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I will have my regular stream where I'm building, and then Wednesdays at 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time is when I do my D&D. So we've been playing that and everything. And I do believe Sunday we have a family. Is that true? Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So I will be on that stream too with my kiddo. So that's it.
Yeah, brilliant, excellent. Yeah, so Sunday we'll be doing the family stream. Obviously, Amber Lyer and her daughter, me and my son and I, and a couple other families if they make it. That will actually be the last sort of regular one of those. Now that summer is sort of ending, kids are going back to school, so then after that we'll be sort of doing that probably once a month. Because the kids have all seemed to wanted to do that, so I'll be good with that.
I'm back, yes.
And moving on
I hate the summer holidays. I hate
Titanium
it.
J, brilliant to have you back on the stream and stream with you. It's been a long time, and I'm glad that you could make some time for the Star Wars. What is coming up on your socials?
So tomorrow I'll actually be joining Amber Lyer on her Twitch stream, be one of the guests, and then regulars for me, 7 p.m. Central Time on Monday nights is my Build and Chat stream. Hopefully that's over on Twitch. I should hopefully have the Ahsoka shuttle by then, and I'll be starting to build that. And then Wednesday nights over on Bricksmith's channel on YouTube is when Lego's Ultimate Builds occurs. That's 9 p.m. Eastern over on YouTube on Bricksmith's channel. We didn't have one this week because Bricksmith wasn't feeling well, but hopefully we'll be back next week, continuing the Ultimate Builds.
Brilliant, excellent. Yeah, it's unfortunately by the time we do the time difference translations, I want to catch you guys' streams, but then it's usually working out to about 2 a.m. our time, and I would imagine for Nicole it's like 3 a.m. So
Yeah.
Unfortunately can't make them. But yeah, brilliant to have you on and know some of the things that you're up to at the moment. So moving along from that, Nicole, what's coming up on your socials?
I built a shop, at least part of it.
Nice.
Oh, I absolutely love it.
Oh, your city's coming along as well. I can see in the background.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great
Slowly, I'm making progress. Oh, yeah. I really enjoy it. Now, it's almost a year, and I'm finally settling in into my room. Yeah. As for me, I'm going to shop Gringotts in 9 minutes, probably, because at the moment it's not sold out, Chris. It's not available yet. But gift with purchases. I have in my shopping cart an assemble of Harry Potter stuff just to see when the gift with purchases are available. They are. So after midnight, they were added. So they are there. Gringotts not. And I'm going to stream tomorrow on Instagram with Sir Awesome Fishing.
Cool. I can't stream on Instagram.
Why not?
For some stupid reason, it's where from this room I can't stream on Instagram. It's too far away from the box, so I just need. And for some strange reason, Instagram it just cuts in and out all the time, so I have to be close to the box. It's really weird. I need a booster on it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, if you can catch every second week, Nicole does her stream there on Instagram. So always good to check that out. Moving on, One Brick Stud. I know you're probably itching to get through, so you can get on and purchase what you're up to. Anything coming up on your socials?
No. So, because I was a guest on here, now I've become a regular member of this of the panel, this channel. You know, I can't believe this is my fourth stream. I feel like a social media icon now. So I've done 5 streams, all thanks to Amber Lie, and 1 or 2 comments, which became full-blown encouragement for me. So thank you again. So next week I'll be here. And also I might be appearing 1 or 2 other channels as well. I think it's about time I went on to Greg's stream. I know he's doing a membership stream on Saturday, so I might drop by on his just to say hello and so on. And in the next 5 minutes or so, I'm going to be attempting to buy one of the sets of the year, which is Gringotts. And I think I'll be taking a picture of every single brick that makes up Gringotts onto my Instagram. Every minifigure, every vault, every sticker, absolutely everything. So it's obviously my white whale set. Been waiting long enough for it, and just gutted I could not go to the Lego store nearest to me in Birmingham because we were having so many rail strikes at the moment. So missed out on a bit of it, the experience of going to the Lego store, queuing up, getting it, and seeing the box straight away. But it is what it is. Could have drove down, but it's a nightmare driving around Birmingham. I'm not going around there.
How far away are you from Milton Keynes?
Milton Keynes, blimey, a couple of hours away. I'm from Worcester.
Oh, right, okay. No, wrong side then.
Completely the wrong side. Yeah. So I'm sort of like the 2 nearest stores to me is Birmingham and Bristol.
Yeah.
And it's both the same. Like saying can't go to Birmingham, can't go to Bristol, and so on. So yeah, and that'll be it. You'll probably see a fair few pictures and 1 or 2 videos of Gringotts. So yeah, exciting times. Exciting.
Very cool.
Oh, brilliant. And I'm sure we'll get to live vicariously through you. And certainly when you get, so the really people that are passionate about a theme and a great set comes up, it's just always fantastic to see how they react to it and, really the joy that it brings.
Yeah, I'm going to prolong the experience as well.
So, no, we certainly look forward to it.
Yeah. Most certainly not going to be in a rush to complete it. I'm going to look to gradually build it over September. If it falls into October, I'm still not finished, then great. I'm going to make sure I take my time with this experience. So,
nice.
You take your time with the stickers as well.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. All 50 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant, Glenn. So just coming up for me, Saturday should have out the top 5 most expensive Lego sets. I think we're up to 2003. So that's always interesting. It seems like these years are very much an inflection point, and you're sort of getting a bit more away from themes that we know and love these days. Sunday at 3 p.m. UK time, 10 a.m. EST American, we're having the family stream with a couple other parents and kids. So always great. And as already mentioned, that will be the last one for like the regular series, and then we'll do it once a month after that. And then I think next Thursday, back here again as always. And I've also just dropped a video on this set here and did the light kit for it. So you can check out a full sort of review on my actual channel there. So some good stuff with that. I think otherwise just sort of be wrapping it up. Good to see everyone in. Always appreciate the time, people giving their time. And we had the poll going tonight, which was about do you see value in Lego sets being signed by a designer? And we had 29% said yes, and it's just changed. 73% said no. So I think that seemed to be the general consensus of people on the panel that didn't really go out of the way for the designers and everything like that, which was interesting. Otherwise, I think the usual social media, please share, like, subscribe, check out everyone who's been on the panel. All their details should be down below, doing lots of varied and interesting content. Always good to catch up with people. And just a shout out to some people who are in the chat today. KO, Hillian's Bricks, Bert's Builds, Fooling with Bricks, Benji Russell, Brick Hive, Andrew Garfield, Tech, Sophie Cooper, Stud Sidious, and probably some others in there. And I think that's covered most things. If anybody else has got any other quick last minute comments before we get out of here.
No, I'm just going to drop off now because I need to be up in the morning. So I'll see you later. And thank you very, very much for having me.
Be good.
See you later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Brilliant. Great to see you. And I was trying to find where is the outro video. I'm sure it's here. I'm going blind. Okay, I think I've got it there. All right. Great to see everyone. See you guys all next week and that, and take it easy. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mr. Bigger, det bliver super duper!
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.